Right, it's Skywatch time, guys. How are we all doing tonight? Still got to wait for a little bit of that daylight to go before we can see some more stars, but it's going to be another wonderfully clear night for us here. So do join us, say hello, let us know where you're watching from there as we do our live UFO UAP Skywatch again, coming to you live from right in the heart of Crop Circle country here in Wiltshire in the UK, just down the road from Stonehenge. Lots of strange things in these skies over the years that do help us spot. We've already got some movement on the screen. There we go. Keep your eyes on it. Remember, we need to see it do something strange. Stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory. That will tell us that is in fact something worth looking at there. Carl is already in there, and Adele, you saw the disclosure day this evening. It's amazing. Oh, I'm very jealous. I'm hoping to try and fit it into the weekend. Carl, thank you for the gifts, the subs, the members, all that jazz. The merch goes back into the stream there, helping us improve on what we do. Carl as well, coming in with the likes there. It is the likes and shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. Drewski is in, and Anzat Francis there as well. How are we doing? Was it Francis? Yeah. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for the gifts there. Appreciate all that. And Dan as well there. A up is in. And is it Lisa and William there over in on the tubes already, guys? How are we all doing there? I am very much looking forward to it. I'm hoping I get a chance to see it. Do you feel that it is... oh, Francois. Sorry there. You do need to pronounce it for me like that. That is very... I appreciate that. I will remember that one now. I'm terrible with these pronunciations. So thank you for that one. But good to have you in. Where are you joining us from tonight to there? Yeah, hoping to see Disclosure Day. So you guys that have seen it, no spoilers. But do you feel that there maybe is that sort of seeding us disclosure through fiction there, so we know but without them telling us? Harko, how are you doing there? Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate those guys that they all go back into the stream there, helping us improve on what we do. But if you are just joining us, say we are doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. We are coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. Lots of weird and wonderful things in these skies over the years. In fact, this little town, Warminster in Wiltshire, had its own UFO flap here during the 60s and 70s. One of the most interesting accounts I'd ever heard. So do help us tonight. Let's see if it's still going on. We do tend to see some very strange things indeed. So that blue that we're seeing now, that is the last bit of daylight. The sun hasn't fully gone around. So as soon as it does, we're going to see more stars, the deep black of space there, but more stars, their colours, and all of the weird and wonderful things flying around. So yeah, help us spot. Say hello into the chat. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight there. It's good to have you in there. Definitely excellent there, Adele there. And it seems like Steven Spielberg knows things we don't know without giving anything away. Yeah, even the trailers, it feels very much like that. I mean, people have said that about things like Close Encounters and all the other UFO films over the years, so definitely can believe it. And perfect timing as well there. And do you get light pollution from behind the tree? Drewski, we do a bit. Like, if I point this over the town, so it's not actually too much further that way, you notice that the sky is sort of generally brighter. So we do get that. We have a sweet spot. So it's mostly south and a little bit either way that we get to the best part of the sky there. How are we doing, Rio? And the latest city pictures with the... Oh, I haven't checked on those ones. I did see one you did of a... of like a meetup one. That was pretty cool. And is it K9? How are you doing there? And where is Free Eye Atlas? It's off on its way out of our solar system now. It's quite far out, and that means we are less able to get any sort of real data. We can get a little bit there, but the further it gets away, the harder it is to detect to various degrees there. So I think it's going to be very much like a lot of these things there. It was very strange, but not strange enough to say slam dunk either away there. I sent a message to you on the Discord there with something that might help with the UFO idea. Oh, Carl, thank you for that. I will definitely check that one out. Thank you for sharing that as well there. And why is TikTok still displaying me as ... I don't know, Harker. It's just a weird platform. It really is an awful one. There, Veronica is in over on the tubes. Glad to be back. Glad to have you in. How are you doing there? And I haven't seen any disclosure on the line from those who have seen it. Oh, any discussions online. That's a very good point, A-Up. I've seen a few reviews come up, like, you know, your general YouTube reviews, which I haven't watched yet for fear of spoilers. But yeah, the general conversation, not much yet. It's an interesting angle. I hadn't considered that one. So yes, do sit tight, guys. Use the grid, the interactive grid there. If you shout out the coordinates, you know, D4, for example, there, if you see something anomalous, if it is really anomalous there, the mods will highlight the interactive grid, drawing our attention to it, and we can zoom in on the good stuff. And Drewski, does anyone know if Oscar from the chat is doing okay? He popped in the other night. I think it's still a bit difficult, but I think okay in those sorts of senses there. But hopefully we'll see him pop by soon there. Find some UFOs, K9. Exactly. That is what we are here tonight. It's a bit of a hunt. We don't know exactly when the action is going to happen. But we're already seeing movement. There's my cursor, not UFO. We've got a faint one coming in there. So as the night draws on, the contrast will get better. We'll be able to see them more clearly. We'll be able to distinguish colours and things like that. But we need to keep our eyes out. We're looking for those movements like that, but the ones that stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory, because those ones are the strange ones. Those ones are the ones that are definitely not man-made objects.
Zoom mode activated.
So, like example over here, right, this, if it follows its predictable straight line there at a consistent speed, that is probably just a man-made satellite. We can't say for sure either way until it does something strange there like that. So as I zoom back out, keep your eyes on it. It doesn't move over the shop. There we go. So there it is there. But all of them across the screen there, and shout out the ones that may well be anomalous. Kate is in. How are you feeling today, Kate? Good to see you there. And good question there, Drewski. Where are we down there? Matt as well. I closed my eyes for a second and I realised something mad there and I can't see. Open your eyes, you'll be all right. There we go, magic. I'm a faith healer. And the other, yeah, Zoom, it is working tonight. It is working. I'm hoping to have the computer properly all back, bells and whistles, and the new features for Friday / the weekend, if we're lucky, if we can get the new hard drive put in quickly. So we're still limping for a bit, but hopefully we should be all back together, hopefully, in time for the weekend, which I think is technically our 1-year anniversary. It's around this sort of time. So we need to figure out a special birthday stream. We've been doing this a year, and it's changed so much already. Hello, my favourite people. I've missed you all. We very much, Kate, we very much missed you there as well. But you got to remember to take time for yourself and to rest up if you get a chance there. Naomi, have you heard the psychic from Brazil's prediction for June? Oh, no, not specifically. What was the prediction? Because honestly, I could believe anything at the minute, the way it's all going there. And Bags, any news on Atlas? It did something strange the other day, but I think it's just not going to be, it's not within our sweet spot for sensors really at the minute. It'd have to do something incredibly dramatic now as it's moving further and further away for us to be able to notice it. So I'm not expecting much from Atlas, but you never know. You never know. It was a very interesting object there. And how's Leanne and Alan tonight there? Alan's complaining as always, Rio. But no, we're all good. We are all good here. I mean, we've got another clear sky. I wasn't expecting the weather to be as good as it has been this week, but we've had some fantastically clear night. So let's look to the stars, guys, and see if we can spot something anomalous there. So the cherry on the case there. The cake there. And it's all good there. Niece is up and awake there. And Kate, that is... I love that. That is some good news there. I'm very glad to hear that one. And I have some pulled muscles, but beside a bit of tiredness, and has recovered. Oh, Kate will still rest up there. Take it easy there. I'm glad you're okay. They're off to bed. That are Bags. Thank you as always for joining us there. We'll see you a little bit later on there. And I pulled the muscle today, and it wasn't my time. I always do that with Leanne. I go, oh, pulled a muscle and just start flexing out of there. Back over to the tubes there. Where did we get to there? I expected Reddit at least to be hot and nothing at all. You are right with that. It is a bit quiet on that front, other than the, your normal reviews. Very, very interesting. I wonder if it will bubble through. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up and the subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, A-Up, as well. Loving the stickers too. So, guys, do make sure that you are following or subscribed. Every night we are on. We are doing something like this. So if it's a clear sky, it's this. It's the UFO, UAP, a Skywatch. If it's a cloudy night, it's the alien radio signal hunt there. So we're always hanging out, talking about the latest news in the UFO world, but also looking directly for those evidence. If you're following or subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, you should get those notifications when we go live, if the platforms are favouring us there. But the likes and shares, I see the hearts popping up across the board there. It is those likes and shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. You never know who is going to come in and what part of the phenomena, what experience they are going to share with us there. That is my favourite bit, is hearing all of your accounts with the strange and anomalous there. It's the one thing that's changed my understanding of what may be going on there. Thunder and a half for you tonight. Keep the clouds up there, up. We want those clear skies. A wisp of cloud coming in there in the A section, but hopefully it's not going to be too much tonight, because I'm looking forward to being lovely and clear. And Carl,
nom nom nom, thanks guys.
Thank you for feeding. Alan, good to have that. Where are we? Johnny, any UFOs tonight there? So not yet. No, we've only been on about 9 minutes, so we're still waiting for it to properly get dark. So that blue that we're seeing, that means that the sun hasn't fully gone around for us here on Earth. It's dark for me to the human eye, because this lens lets in about 2.5 times of the light the human eye can see, which we need to see all the stars and all of the movement there. because it lets in so much light, then we have to wait a little bit longer for that daylight to go around. But as it gets darker, we're going to see more stars, more moving objects there, and more colours in the night sky. In fact, I've cranked up the brightness a touch as well to see if we can see anything more, any more action going on there. And oh, what's it? Why are there less squares? You should have the same amount of squares. Should be the same amount of squares over on the TikToks. Actually, is it aligned right? I need to make sure I've got the alignments correct. For that one, I need to do that off screen though. Lion, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And Gerding as well, how are you doing? Guys, do let us know where you're all watching from tonight then. Do say hello in the chat. Might take me a second to come across to it there. I'm working across 2 chats tonight, but we do want to hear from you. If you've had an experience there, do share away. Or if you've got a question, ask away. No silly questions at all. So maybe it's what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, or something you've seen in the news. Do ask away there. And oh, more squares, but less. Is the audio? That audio should be okay. I wonder what's going on there, Harko there. Maya's having a bit of a rest at the minute. I think she's a bit of work and some back stuff. So hopefully we'll see her soon, which is all well. But yeah, no, it should be the same. Well, it's the same amount of squares, except for over on the TikTok, my face covers a good chunk of the D section there. That is, it's guys, if you're on TikTok, if you're on the vertical there, definitely worth checking out the YouTube, because again, the sky, you're seeing it turned on its side, so we can kind of fit it all in there. But it's up the right way. There's more sky, less my face, and more sorts of contextual data coming in there, not just weather conditions, but, you know, solar wind and all that sort of jazz that can help us understand what we might be seeing. Where did we get to there? So what shenanigans have I missed there? Kate, actually, I think last night it was lovely and clear, but it was quite quiet. Even for satellite activity, it was a bit quiet last night. So are we going to break it? Normally it lulls us into a false sense of security. We go, oh God, nothing much has happened for the last couple of days. And then boom, we normally get a fantastic sighting. And it is the weather. It is the season. Where's bloody Vega at the minute? I did set... There it is. See if I can spin the camera around, because we should normally be able to see Vega. Hold your hats. If it wants to work. Where's Vega gone? Can't find it, but there's some movement on the screen. Shall we zoom in on this one? There we go. Here's an example. We're going to see a lot of these tonight.
Zoom mode activated.
So as far as we know at the minute, though, this is just one of the many, many man-made objects up there. Be it a man-made satellite or some space junk or something like that. Until it does something strange, until it stops dead, shoots off at speed, changes its course or trajectory, and then we won't know for sure that it is anything other than that. Now, saying that, though, just because, you know, we can't say it is something otherwise, does not mean it definitely is a man-made satellite there. Statistically, that is going to be the case. There's about 15,000 of the damn things up there. And if there was more UFOs than there was satellites, I would be slightly worried. But the same things that we're going to see tonight, all this movement, all the flashing, the lights in the sky, it has been seen before man-made satellites were in orbit there. So there is something up there, or there has been something up there for a very long time that acts in a very similar way, which is quite interesting to think, really, because obviously if this is, you know, something that's metallic, that's reflexive, those big solar panels, whatever it is that's bouncing that light back, what is it that's been up there before the man-made objects that was causing a similar response? Oh, Amanda, see you over on the tubes for that one. Good evening, Amanda. How are you doing? Where are we? Maybe the aliens are watching Disclosure Day. Maybe. That's why they haven't commented yet there. Could well be. So yeah, this is what we're doing tonight. It's the live UFO UAP Skywatch. Let's just tweak the brightness, and we have to be chasing that for the whole stream there. Look how blue that is. I can make it blue, but let's turn down the brightness there. I want the contrast. No, it's going to be a constant fight with the settings there, trying to get that balance just right. But as the Earth rotates there, the sun is going to go further around. It's going to get darker. It's going to get easy to see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the screen there any one time. So do your best to follow them, because even if they are moving in a straight line, being a little bit boring, that doesn't mean to say that it is going to be for its whole journey. So it could, just before it goes off the screen there, stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory, because something like that will say for sure that it is in fact something a lot stranger than one of those many man-made objects up there. We are really waiting for ET to fly over, realise he's left his keys at home, and do the interstellar handbrake turn right over the camera. Now, is that going to be likely? It happens, but you know, it's not going to be every object that moves over is going to move like that, but it's the only way that we can be sure down here that it is be able to filter out those man-made objects there. Harko coming in with the gifts, thank you for that, and loving the stickers. Feed him, exactly, Harko. He's petulant if he doesn't get fed. There, Terry is in. How are you doing there? And Amanda, you're over on the tubes now as well. As Rich was sending us some pictures from our chat earlier of you know, the YouTube on the projector on the. Whoa, that was a good one. That was a lovely shooting star. Who got that one? That was pretty cool. What was that in B? Wasn't it in the B section there, cutting through? That was cool. Hey, maybe that, if that's how the stream's starting, maybe we're going to get a few more tonight. It is always awesome when we catch the odd shooting star like that. And again, you can see the difference, can't you, in that, you know, it appears very quickly. It's this long line, bright bit and a tail. They're very different to some of these objects. Oh, look, we're starting to see the colour of which. So very different to these objects here. Very different to when we see planes coming over as well. So you start to get the eye, the feel for kind of the altitude, what's going on there, and all that stuff. You missed it there. Oh, no. Well, hopefully we're going to get some more there. It was awesome there. But this one's got a little bit of colour to it now, as we're starting to lose some of that blue. Again, to see some of the colours are there. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again on screen. So all 6. There we go. So 6 is the peak tonight. Can we beat that? I've had 15. Was it 14? Might have been our peak overall there that we have seen at any one point. And as the summer rolls on in there, it's going to get very, very busy indeed. So yes, if you're just joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge. Lots of weird things in these skies over the years, so do help us spot it. Put the grid references in the chat there if there's something anomalous, and then the mod will highlight it if it is of interest, and then the interactive grid, we can have a look. We can have a zoom in there. In fact, should we look? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. Let's have a look at these ones.
Zoom mode activated.
So at the minute they are not acting strangely, but it just takes a hesitation at any point. They could do something strange and therefore prove to us that it is not one of the many, many man-made satellites up there. So keep your eyes on them as they fly across the screen. As said, as it gets darker, that blue is going to go and that contrast is going to be on our side. Therefore, we're going to see more objects much more easily there. And also, it's easy to see the colours as well, which can be of interest to their plane. Not at the minute. I don't think these are too high and a bit too small for that. But when we do have the planes come over, you can really see them. You know, you see the strobes, you see the wings. You know, we're a bit zoomed in. You can see it. It's quite interesting to see the contrast. If you are new here, guys, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. I want to hear from you all there. Yeah, ask away any questions you may have. Again, we want to hear all of it there. Maybe it's something you've seen in the news around the UFO stuff. Maybe it's what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it there. Do ask away. Or my favourite part is if you've had an experience with the phenomena, do share it. That is my favourite bit. I mean, I love seeing the action on the screen, all the anomalies there. That is cool. But really, the thing that has moved my needle of understanding around the phenomena most is actually hearing your accounts with the phenomena there. That has just blown my mind of how common the phenomena is, how many people have these experiences, and how often too there. So if you'll do us a favour, like, share, whatever it is, the tapping away, that helps us reach more and more people there like yourselves. And then you never know who's going to come in and what story that they are going to share. And we've had some fantastic ones over the last week or so there. And Shelley, how are you doing over on the tubes? Good to have you in tonight. What are we today? Are we Wednesday? I think we're Wednesday. Oh, Gaza is in too. Good to see you there. Kate coming in with gifts. Thank you there, Kate. And coming in with the shares too. So we do help, does help us there. Good to see you guys coming in. So settle in. We've got a long night ahead of us of clear skies, lots of action, and we're going to need everybody on the phones there, zooming in and making sure that anything that we're observing tonight, see if it does anything strange. Can we hit the anomaly button? Can we clip it and, you know, get some extra evidence? We've seen some very interesting things over the years. Kate, feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom. Thanks,
Thank you for that. Yeah, we've seen some very interesting ones over the years there. So is tonight going to be one of those ones? It's a bit of a hunt. You never know when it's going to happen. But the skies are normally quite fruitful with anomalous movement. There's Shelley Magpie. How are you doing there? Where are we? Let me just bring up the brightness a touch. There we go. Just so we make sure we can see more and more. And you look, we're getting more and more stars now, and going to see a hell of a lot more as it gets darker. And see some of those colours of those stars as well. Absolutely stunning. And Mr. C there, how can we tell these days if it's a real UFO or a reverse engineered from the government UFO? Oh, very good question there, Mr. C. Normally we get the questions of, you know, how can we tell a UFO apart from a satellite or see something just prosaically man-made? And with that one, it's by the movement. That is the key for us here. If we see something stop dead, change its course or trajectory, that we do not have anywhere near the right technology to be able to do that up there. It actually takes a hell of a lot of energy because everything's falling, it's in orbit, so they can't just stop and hesitate, but the UFOs can and do, we've seen. So that is the real slam dunk. Doesn't mean that the objects that we're observing are not UFOs, it just means that statistically it's probably going to be, you know, something man-made. But specifically for your question, I don't really know. It's a very good one, the reverse engineered one. So they talk a lot of times about the TR-3B, don't they, which was reportedly a triangular sort of craft there that was built by the Americans based on the UFO technology. We can definitely highlight if we do see any triangular craft, but are they ET triangular craft, which, you know, just does happen apparently, or if they're the reverse engineered ones? Yeah, how would we tell the difference? It's a very, very good question there, Mr. C. Kate as well coming in with the shares there. Grim, how are you doing?
Nom nom nom. Thank
you for feeding Alan there. Oh, and it already went odd there, stream for me. Oh, I had to restart it there, Shelley. I wonder what's going on there. So if it's one platform's playing up, it's normally the other one as well there, sadly. Hopefully it'll sort itself out, though. Rock Guns, how are you doing there? I love the live watch there. Just wondering how long you've been doing this. And as I've only just seen your channel, and I found it really interesting, and hopefully we're seeing something unusual. Oh, I love that one, Rock. And welcome in. Literally about a year, literally coming up. It's some point over the next week or so. It was the year, and it took a long time to figure out the camera, the lenses, the streaming, and all the sorts of ways that we've had various issues over there. But it's developing there. But we are just about to hit the year, and luckily all of it is now probably the best, as you'd hope that it has been. But we're always improving it there. But whereabouts in the world are you joining us from? It's good, so good to have you in, part of our little crew and community there. Shelley as well. So now I'm curious how some are ask her what's the rest of that one, how some are there, Shelley. I want to hear the rest of that one. And interesting. And honestly, ask any questions you like. There are no silly questions here at all. Half the time I don't know the answer, but somebody in the chat will. That's the wonderful part about the internet, is that somebody will know these things. It's a chance for us all to, you know, get our minds together, our life experience, not just experiencing the phenomena, but sometimes our skills from the working world come into play. We've had people come in that literally work with satellites and planning orbits and things like that. And one thing that we were seeing, which was this anomalous stationary flashing, because everything should be moving, should be in motion up there. And I went, it's probably a geostationary satellite. There are a few of them up there. And the guy comes in, figured out where we're looking, went, no, they have to be around the equator and relative to the size that you're seeing with this lens. Basically said, no, that's anomalous. And that was one of our big ones there. So I thought was just boring. Turned out, because of the knowledge from you guys, that actually did turn out to be anomalous. That is why we really do appreciate the tapping, the sharing away, the likes, especially on the tubes. If it's the actual video like, the main one at the top, that one does help there, because you never know who's going to come in and what experience they're going to share. They're helping us understand a little bit more about what is going on. Oh, we answered it there, Shelley. Excellent. Oh, already. But if you get any more, we'd love to hear it there. And Rich, I was just mentioning earlier about your setup there with the projector and how you doing there. Thought I was watching Disclosure Day today, but I misheard the wife there. Seeing it on Friday. I need to clear his as least, you know, that you're still going to see it the day or so. That ain't too bad, you know. But you know, I thought it was going to go to the cinema, but no, she's actually got some DIY lined up for me. I've heard very good things there. Hopefully I will get a chance to see it there. Where are we down the list? Let's have a look there. Is it 36 watching? Only 2 likes. Oh, that is criminal, guys. Slack in. Get on that like. I said it really does help us meet more people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. I say that, but I'm so stingy with my likes in real life. I'm the worst for it. I refused, because YouTube is the platform I use most. I actually refused to subscribe to even the channels that I liked. I was a bloody pain in the ass for it. It's only when they changed the algorithm and then you had to actually have a chance of seeing it. I was just relying on it. It's always a bright one, serving it up to me. So I can't complain. But
Zoom mode activated.
We would appreciate it if you do there. And also make sure you're following or subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we're on every night and you should get those notifications when we go live. This is a nice, bright one. Again, we're looking for that anomalous movement, that strange behavior there that will filter out the man-made satellites and space junk. Again, those things are falling to Earth in a big circle. So as soon as we see something, stop dead, hesitate, change course or trajectory, that will tell us for sure, 100%, that it is not one of those things. Now, what is it? That's the next question. Definitely put in the the unidentified flying object there. It's the difficulty there, but we are working on some other things to help us filter these things out. And Shelley, I have a question. AI tells me that my Tic Tac was Mach 4 to 5 there in 1995. Well, that was definitely far faster than anything we had that was, released and publicly available, probably by a couple of Mach there. That's a very, very fast object. And what a world we live in now where we can ask these questions, we can get that information. I do feel that it's things like that that is, literally like yourself there, you can confirm a sighting that you've had was actually really, really anomalous there. So the mainstream explanation of, it's probably a plane. Well, there's nothing to see here. It just doesn't hold up anymore. We have too much information. Good use of the interactive grid there. Oh, there's two in that one, or one just below it as well. So guys, if you drop the grid references in, if you do see something, if it's interesting, the mods will highlight the interactive grid there and we can have a look there in case I'm down in the chat and I'm missing it. Just bought a telescope there, Amanda. Just need a good evening to set it up there. It's still very much on my list there, wish list there, telescope. I think if we had like that to switch between this camera for the big view and then like the super zoom of a telescope, you have to let us know how you get on. And if you get any good shots and images there, if you plan on taking pictures, put them in our Discord. We'd love to see them in there as well. So Syntax, how are you doing there? The stats say there are about 1,000 real UFO sightings a year. That's quite a few, at least 3 a day somewhere in the world. It's actually a hell of a lot there, a hell of a lot. Now, I mean, I wonder what, how many actual aeroplane sightings there are. So if we can kind of deduce from the amount of UFO sightings versus the aeroplanes that we know, could we kind of estimate a number that may be visiting us? Because I don't think, with any of the potential explanations on the table, that there should be too many visitors. But hey, what do we know is going on? Moon, how are you doing? Good to see you in there. And you're hoping that Amanda, we want to see it. And I gave a site location, a year, month, and surroundings, and the distance between. That was good that you've got that information, because I'd still struggle to do it. But it's fantastic, isn't it, that the complicated maths of that can be now just done and estimated for us there, again helping us as individuals there not have to rely on very advanced expensive equipment to look for evidence of the phenomena. Right, going to bounce back over to the TikTok. Where did we get to with you guys? And, I live in Folkestone in Kent there, Mr. C there, and I saw a triangle-shaped UFO following my car back in the early 1980s, going to Ashford, Kent, to a club late one night. It was absolutely amazing to see it. Very quiet. So, that's brilliant, and it's right the time for the triangular craft there. So the ones that I do think are the American reverse-engineered ones. Lots of sightings around the 80s and the 90s for those, which, you imagine, Americans get a new toy, they're going to use it, aren't they, a lot more? So you're going to see that spate of sightings there. Now, with your one, it's very quiet. Was there any sound at all? Did you see the lights in the corners, and there's normally a central one as well? Was there any coloration? That's a fantastic sighting, and this is why I love doing this, because we get to meet all you guys and hear about all of these accounts. Like, you'd think that UFO sightings were rare. I did. I thought if they were commonplace, then everybody would know about it. But it turns out that quite a lot of people, I have seen these things, have those experiences, but we just assume that nobody else has. That bit of self-suppression there because of the social stigma. When that stigma goes, guys, we are going to find ourselves chatting to people going, I didn't know you had a sign. I didn't know you had a sign. I think most people are going to at least be one person removed at the most from a sighting. So we've got 3 or 4 on screen at the minute. Keep your eyes on those. And thank you for the follow there, Mr. C there. And silly questions that make the best they really do, because half the time they're not actually that silly. Not silly at all. I mean, this is the thing. If you've got that question, there are going to be other people in the chat that have that question as well. They just don't want to say because they think it's silly, so they'll be grateful that you did it. It's called the Zone of Proximal Development. The reason that we're all hanging out, guys, we've all got the same interest, is because we're all roughly in the same sort of area there. So somebody might know a few bits this way, somebody might know a few bits that way, but we're all roughly in the same bit there. So never be afraid to ask any questions there at all. Or maybe you've had an experience there that you're just not sure. Was it something strange? Maybe it's a normal explanation. Float it up here, maybe we can figure it out there. Nice blue one coming down the side of the screen there, so we'd love to hear that. Paul is in the house. Paul Evans from Solihull there, first time listener, first time in it, Paul. Well, very, very welcome in. It is good to have you there. How do you feel about the phenomena there? Are you open to the alien stuff, or maybe you've had an experience there? And have I missed anything? Oh, your signal went. Oh, Adele, hopefully, no, you've not missed much. We've got a bit of movement tonight, but nothing anomalous yet, so you're still in time. I mean, we've only been on about half an hour, so the night is still very, very young for the UFO hunting there. Kate,
nom nom nom, thanks,
thank you
guys.
for feeding Alan there. All the gifts, the subs, the patrons, the members, all of that jazz does go back in there, helping us improve what we're doing. Extra kit, extra sensors. I want to get some magnetic anomaly sensors, or the magnetic field ones. Apparently there's going to be a big connection connection with the UFO stuff there. So yeah, hopefully it all goes in there helping us improve our odds of detection. And Wayfind, did you hear about the peer-reviewed paper of telescopic data pre-Sputnik? Yes, yeah, these are the transient objects. Very, very interesting data there. So this is a paper that was recently, I think last year, put out there by Dr. Beatrice Villarreal, something like that pronunciation. But essentially, it was looking back at these old photographic plates there, so like your old film negatives on solid plates, that the observatories took in, I think it's the late 40s, early 50s time. They were doing an all-sky survey of the night sky there. And this is before anything man-made up there in orbit. We could send the old rocket up, but it didn't stay up there very long, essentially. And they would take these images of the night sky on these plates, and then about an hour later, they'd come back around to do the same patch of sky, so you'd be able to compare A and B. And not much is meant to change in those images in space. You know, satellites, stars don't just out there, supernovas, big, bright for a long time. But what they were seeing was stars in one, then an hour later, not so many stars in the other. Very strange, but also interestingly, they correlated with the amount that they were seeing there with the Earth's shadow. So as the sun goes round, less light to reflect off those objects up there, so therefore they saw less when this shadow was round, implying that these things were in orbit and they were interacting with the Earth's shadow. But nothing, no man-made technology was available to be up there then, and they have got a hell of a lot of these detections, so something's been up there. So like when we're looking at all these objects now on the screen here, these are, as far as we know, man-made satellites. Hell of a lot of them up there. Look, statistically it's going to be the case, but people have been observing these things before men had satellites up there, so we can't say for sure that they are definitely satellites, but we also can't say for sure they're definitely UFOs until we observe that anomalous behavior there, stopping dead, shooting off at speed, changing their course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that it is something stranger there. And Zek Kells, thank you for the gifts there, appreciate that, guys. All goes back into the stream, so it's a very good one. That paper is very interesting. Another observatory, so it was the Palomar observatory in the US that they did the initial paper on the plates from that one, but they're on the other side of the world, I think somewhere in Italy or Spain, an observatory there. They went through all their historical plates and they observed the same things. We know it's not like it's not a localized issue with that telescope or something in the environment, because another observatory on the other side of the world had the same observations there. Tempo, thank you for the follow, good to have you in. And Rio there, we are all friends. We are, that is the thing. They say about the internet being scary and full of mean people, but that is definitely not what we've found. We've found very open people, very willing to share knowledge and experience there, and we're very, very lucky for that. Keeping us company every night, helping us look out for the weird and wonderful. Wayfind, it showed 100% that there was a light reflecting off metallic discs in the outer space pre-Sputnik. There is something up there. It is very, very compelling, and you see some of the debunks of it there, and there's some not very good ones there. I mean, most of the time the scientists go, oh, it's satellites, and then you go, yeah, it's before satellites, and they go, shut up. There's not a lot. There's a few people talking about the maths maybe being a bit wonky here or there, but there, I find it very, very compelling. In fact, I think most people would do. Even the summer scientists are going, wait a minute, maybe there's something to this there. Kate as well coming in with the shares. Appreciate that, guys. The tapping away, the likes, shares, it does help us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But if you're just joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. We're coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So a long history of weird and wonderful things in these skies, and so clear tonight. I think we're going to be in for a good one. So do help us spot anything anomalous there. If you see anything acting strange there, call out the grid reference in the chat, and if it is anomalous, the mods will highlight the interactive grid. And Brianna there, the night before last, I was between awake and asleep, and I saw in my mind an ET. It looked like a grey there, but was greenish grey, and it was hunched over by the bush behind my house. And then I jolted out of bed and closed my window. It does make you wonder, you know, like the sensations in when you can tell somebody's looking at you, and it's not conscious, but you just look and then make eye contact with someone, don't you? Like, is there something going on there? This consciousness, this dream angle, we're hearing a lot of reports about it. It's hard to tell what's going on, but it does make you think, maybe. There's a lot of reports of these sorts of things there. Brianna as well, thank you for sharing that and for the follow there. Kells as well, good to have you. And where are you joining us from tonight, guys? So if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from there. And again, if you've got a question, ask away. There's no silly questions here as well. But again, if you've had an experience of the phenomenon, I'd love to hear about that. Ben, how are we doing?
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Thank you for feeding Alan there. And Carl, oh, keep an eye on the grids there, and sometimes we see a flash. A very good point there. One of the strangest things we've seen, doesn't sound very sexy, but it is a stationary flashing. Now, everything up there should be moving, should be in motion. It's the nature of orbits. They're falling to Earth in a big circle. So stopping dead is the same way if I jumped off my roof, I couldn't just stop halfway. I'd need energy. I'd need like a jet to push me back up, wouldn't I? Similar with these sorts of things. The satellites aren't capable of doing that. So other than the geostationary satellites we go into, but they're not in this part of the sky. So if we're seeing something flash once every 17 seconds, once every 2 minutes, whatever it may be, as we have seen before, over the course of the stream, from the same point in the sky, that is very, very strange there. So again, maybe it's not dramatic, but it is still very anomalous there. And all them stars are coming through now. It's a beautiful sky tonight. It really is. I thought last night was good, but tonight is going to be much clearer. There, how are we doing, Ben, as well? Loving the stickers, Kate. And Kel's wondering what those blue spirals said to be rocket exhausts were, as many of them all over the world were seen. So I remember them from last year. And I know they said that they were, rockets. And look, I don't mind if we do have an explanation for these things. For me, that doesn't kill the magic. Sometimes I'm a bit sad, but it's fine if there are logical reasons to explain away a lot of these things. But when people were seeing it over Cornwall, and they're saying it was a SpaceX launch in California, you're like, really? Are you sure, guys? I mean, look, I don't know the maths, but you're thinking, really? There as well, yeah, and... he looks startled there. It makes you think, isn't it? We quite often fear a lot of the time the beings and things like that. But it's a to and fro thing. And there was a case in Brazil, Virginia, as well, where it was flipped. That the beings themselves, I think, had crashed there and were injured. They reportedly, some people came across one of the beings hiding, behind a wall in a town, and it was scared and it communicated telepathically, which is something we don't. Oh, good spot in the interactive grid, just going off the screen there. But yes, though the role reverse there, you don't hear of it so much there. And Grim, we're all good. I hope you're well too there. And Emma, A3, good spotting there. I'm a bit behind in the chat, but the mods will zoom in, highlight the grid for the good ones there. So keep it up. They look so cool though. Light port, they really do. Here's one.
Zoom mode
let's have a look
activated.
at this, a big blue. See the color difference of this one here. Let's try and get it on screen for you. The color difference of that one. Let me zoom back out. Sorry, guys. Just going off the edge. Probably. Why is that? This is bugging me. Sorry, guys. Just need to do a bit of technical investigation here. That the grid seems to be. Why is it that far along? I think the grid seems to be funny. Right, I'm going to just be messing around with this one for now. Just give me 2 seconds. Is it this button? No, it's not that one. Is it this one? Right, let me just check here. Yeah, why are we missing half the bloody grid off of this? Half of the sky. There it is. What's gone on there? Ridiculous. Right, that must mean the whole thing's out. Yeah, I will get that back to correct, guys. Just technical problems on the fly. Why is that gone so small? I know we've been having technical problems lately, so we're on a bit of a technical bodge at the second. So we will put it back. Hey, look at all the sky you guys have been missing. Ridiculous. Oh, technology. You think you get it sorted? We should get the computer back working for the weekend, though. Still looks a little bit strange there. Is that one in the right place there? I think that one is, he says. Roughly. Right, I think that is... Let me just double check. Yeah, no, that is the full, I think. Yeah, it is the full. Yeah, no, that is the full sky. So why is that slightly off on that side then? Very weird. Let me just squeeze it in so you kind of see it all. There we go. Technical difficulties to there. There we go. So you can actually see it all now. Right. Is that aligning with the grid over for you? Almost. There. That's close enough, I think. Right. I can lock that one back in place. Thank you for bearing with us. We want to make sure that you're getting all of the visuals there. You don't want to be missing out on part of the sky if we say it's in one grid and you can't see it. Anyway, back to this, guys. If you're joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge. In fact, this little village here, Warminster, I hadn't heard of it. until moving here about a year or so ago. But it's had a massive UFO events here in the 60s and 70s. The only account that I know that wasn't just 1 or 2 sightings, but was consistently for about 10 years solid. There was just week after week of sightings. People would come here on holiday every weekend and have a bloody sighting. So it's a very, very strange place. It makes sense. Apparently, they do think that it is to do with the fact that this town is surrounded by 3 Iron Age hill forts. Creates a little Bermuda Triangle here in Wiltshire. And confirming living here, it is a bit weird. It is a bit strange. So these guys are alive with the weird and wonderful, the strange and anomalous. To help us spot these tonight, do say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask away any questions. There's no silly questions at all. And if you had an experience, again, my favourite part, I want to hear those. And what are we looking through there, Kel? So good question. It's just a fancy digital camera, basically. Photography camera with they all do video now. HDMI lead out of that into a window, basically. But it's about 10 meters in front of me there. And excellent, thank you, Kel. That's very, very kind of you to say that one, but I can't take credit. Look, this is the night sky. This is nature putting on the show, and it's you guys coming in with the awesome chat and the awesome questions there. So, Vicky, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? I'm going to bounce back over to the tubes. You guys have patiently waited. Let's have a look. Where did we get to? Oh, there's a few messages over here on the tubes, guys. Where did we get to there? Where did we get to? I unfortunately only had the track phone with no camera and Wi-Fi. That always happens, always the way, isn't it, when there's something awesome in front of you there. Good spotting, Amanda. That shooting star was cool. And Shelley, no, you're having a chat there. Colin there, how are we doing, Colin? Good to see you in. Where are you joining us from tonight? So I'm bouncing between 2 chats, guys. So I do one, then I go back to the other there. So do bear with us, but I will say hello. I will answer your questions there. And an odd cloud hanging over there. Oh no, you're having to chat, isn't it there? Oh, Amanda, near Brighton. Love that, I do. I'm a big fan of Brighton. That's where me and the missus used to hang around when we met there. Oh, so the Discord is in our link in bio for that one. So there should be, I'll be able to click through. If you go to our main page over on the tubes or over on the TikTok, wherever there, you should be able to find that link. Yeah, link in bio for the Discord there. But do join us over there. Again, not just normal stream updates, although they are in there. Oh, good use of the interactive grid there in D4. I'll keep my eye on that one. But yeah, there's all the latest UFO news, all of the podcasts we talk about, the videos we reference will get shown in there. But my favourite bit is your personal experiences. A lot of you guys are putting in your first-hand accounts with the phenomena, and there's been a couple of very interesting ones this week there. But images and videos too, so you're welcome to join, to share them over there, or just to read through them there. But we do a monthly alien movie club, so yeah, once a month we vote on an alien-themed movie, and then we sit down and we watch it separately, but all at the same time, and chat along in the Discord. I think is in it. Oh God, what is it? Alien Autopsy, the funny one that we're going to be watching the last Friday of this month. And Syntax there, old hag syndrome is an odd one there, a form of sleep paralysis. I've heard about this. I think only the other day somebody was mentioning about this, and I think there are some psychological and some normal cultural, conceptual explanations for a lot of this stuff. But things like the old hag and the specifics around it, sometimes you're like, man, if that sighting is what you're describing, and a lot of people do, it is very hard to explain away. Very, very hard to explain away there. Oh, are we? And where are we? But very, very interested there. And kidney stones. Funnily enough, the old man had kidney stones the other week. And thanks for that one out there. And I heard there was a shared experience of an old hag sitting on your chest. I've heard of people individually, but a shared experience, I've not heard about that. That would be very, very interesting. I mean, as soon as you're getting in that takes away any of the individual, the personal, the subjective nature of those there. I think Vega's coming into shot soon there. Where are we? There, pick a stone. And oh, what's that? G67. What's that one? Oh, is that postcode? Good to have you in though, Colin, there as well. Oh, Amanda, let me have a look over the TikTok there. Sometimes it is meant to let people into the Discord, the bloody thing, but for some people, I don't know, maybe it thinks you're dodgy. But it does actually ask us to approve, and I don't know why. There we go. That should be done for you there. Let me scroll down. worried where my mind is. I literally just had a pain in a tooth, and my brain just went, oh, that's another one you have to get removed. Just the fear. There, where are we there? Will you accept the request? Yeah, I've literally just done it there, so it should be on top of that one. Where are we? Down there. And what's that? No worries there. Appreciate that one. Right, let me come through down here. What are you on about, paper and stones? There. Right, so guys, let me bounce back over to the TikTok, see where we got to in your chat, and tubers, I will catch you up there. Ben, thank you for feeding Alan again there.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Donna as well, thank you for the gifts, all the gifts, the subs. Patreons, members, all that jazz goes back into the stream there, helping us upgrade and improve what we are doing. Where do we get to in the chat? So we got to Vicky in, didn't we? There. And Kate, and don't mind the cursor zooming across the screen. It gets us all. It does. It very much does. I think I'm tempted to change it back to a UFO. There. And Tarana, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from there? Thank you for the follow. Good to have you in. Toby, so what is the actual outcome of what you see? A very interesting question. For a longest time, Toby, I just wanted to see the strange things. I'd never had a UFO sighting before, so that was my thing. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. But people like yourself come in and go, all right, well, what would you do? When you actually see these things, and we have seen some strange things, what would you do? Well, there isn't really somebody to call. I mean, you can report the sightings and stuff, but we're left in this odd middle ground where we can see something that's strange. We can see something that isn't a shooting star, isn't a satellite there, but what is it? If it defies all of the mainstream explanations, how do we take it to the next level? How do we say that it is something maybe extraterrestrial or whatever? So yeah, it's a bit difficult. Really, it's the fun of the hunt. Honestly, when you see it, I mean, even when you see the odd shooting star, it's pretty exciting there. But hopefully, as technology improves, as we upgrade there, we can bring it in to, get a little bit more data. Can we refine what it might be? We can definitely filter out some of the things there. Can we actually start to see what it might be there? And Kels, I've had many SP experiences there, but overcame it there. So hope to share one a day there as well. What's XP SP there? Is it spiritual? I have no idea. But I'd love to. Well, TikTok as well there. How you doing? Thank you for the gifts there. Or PS, a personal. So yeah, would love to hear about anything that's related. There's a nice bright one coming in here. Sorry, it's just distracted
Zoom
me.
mode activated.
Right, okay, so this is what we're going to see a lot of tonight, and until it does something strange, we cannot say for sure that it is in fact anything other than a man-made object flying around there, be it a satellite or some space junk. So until it does anything strange there, we just can't say for sure. So that is why, as I zoom back out, keep your eyes on it there, observe it. Even if it has gone in a straight line at a consistent speed, it can change at the last moment there, so keep your eyes on those. If it doesn't mean that 100% isn't, but we just can't say for sure. Coloration and flashing are of interest as well there. And Artie, welcome aboard. Where are you joining us from there? The stars are awesome today. They are really lovely. Still a bit of blue, which means that it's still yet to get darker. So do hang around to see those. We're going to start to see some of the colours of those stars as well. And Ollie as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from there? And Reese, what do you reckon are the most likely to come? It's most likely to come to Earth there. Reptilians, Greys, the Nordics, or the Insects? Ooh, interesting one. I don't know about likely to come to Earth, but I think, look, if there is one other species out there, if we are not special, which again I don't believe, I wouldn't be doing this, but if we are special and there is, at least one other species, there's gonna be loads. There's gonna be loads. Now, is our curiosity, is that just inherent to us, to our species, or would that go across the board? Oh, we got a flasher. So, I mean, I think they could all be curious.
Zoom mode activated.
So let's keep an eye on this one. So does that flashing follow a regular rhythm? Because if the rhythm is variable, that can be very, very interesting indeed there. So I'm going to zoom back out. Keep your eyes on it, even when it zooms around, and follow it across the screen. Where is it? Is it this one? There it is there. Okay, so what's happening, guys, is if that is just a satellite, what is happening is, as you can see here, it's catching the light like that as it's flying around there, bouncing that line back down to us from the sun, but it's rotating. So look, no flash, flash, no flash, flash, but so it's doing that as it's moving. Now, if it's doing that, it's probably buggered. Most satellites these days are designed to point in one direction, down. Normally, if it's a communication satellite, those antennae have to be pointing down to the ground for us to make a connection. If it's a spy satellite, that lens is pointing down to the ground there. If it's rotating and causing those flashing, it normally means it's at the end of its life. There's a couple of satellites a little bit more flexible, but most of them are not there. So it can be anomalous, especially if that rhythm varies as well, so keep your eyes on that. But yeah, well, I think it'd probably be like an equal curiosity, unless there's an outlier, like they want X, Y, or Z there. Another believer, very, very welcome in. Have you ever had an experience yourself there? Or sorry, when I'm bouncing between the chats, I totally forget. So sleep paralysis, yeah, it's very interesting. And the same as you, when I was younger, about 17, 18 to 20, I had it most nights. I never had the demon, you know that, but I had a lot of sleep paralysis. But that's the one thing I don't have now. Oh, we've got another flasher in here. Look, can you guys see that on the TikTok? Yeah, just about down there. Is it going to flare up again, or is that it? Very interesting tonight there. So keep your eyes on those. How are we doing, Adam? Good to see you. We are all good there. And TikTok, how's it going? It's all going well. We're slowly overcoming the technical difficulties there, but we're getting some lovely clear nights, so I cannot complain about that. In fact, I'm just going to tweak some of the brightness settings here just to make sure we're getting some of those background stars in as well. There we go. So a little bit more blue, but we now see more accurately the colours there. So when that blue fully goes to black, then we know the sun has fully gone around. Oh, another shooting star. That's 2 already in under an hour. I think tonight we must be in some sort of part of space there where there's a little bit of activity. Let me go down through the chat there. What do you reckon is the most likely? Oh no, I did that one there, but thank you, Reese, for the follow there. Thank you, Adam, for the shares, and Kate as well. It is the likes and the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. You never know who's going to come in and what experience that they are going to share there. So the one thing that I think has changed my understanding of the phenomena the most is hearing from you guys. I never had an experience, but 100% a believer. No way we're alone. I think that's logical. I do not get it. Just seems so egotistical and just stupid for science to think, whoa, that was a big flash, to think that we are alone. Where's my bloody cursor gone? It's on the wrong screen, that's why. Where was that one? I looked away. There was one that was moving, did a big flash. Now that can be just something that is reaching that, the highest point relative to us there, reflecting back down to us. But I think it's totally right there. I think it's logical to think, unless we have data for the otherwise, that life is going to be abundant. And now our technology is advancing, we are actually starting to be able to look properly, because this is the thing, they haven't really been looking that much. We are starting to see the signs that the universe is potentially absolutely full of life there. Left side is active. It very much is TikTok. Keep your eyes on those. It's always the left. It really is. No matter where we're pointing in the sky, always seems to be the left. You're not wrong there. And where are we there? Islam is there, UK, US, and I have a business deal. No, thank you. And there. Megan, what are you using to Stargate? So it's a camera, basically. It's just a camera with a good lens. We don't really want a telescope. I want one generally. But for this, we want a wide field of view. We need to see as much of the sky as possible because we don't know where the action's going to be. So we need to let... Whoa! Okay, and that was the one from earlier that flashed up. So that is very, very anomalous. Because what can happen... if you imagine, it's in orbit and it reaches that point, look, maximum reflectivity, and then goes away again, right? That can be if you get a one-off, but that must be, to doing that must be rotating on a very slow. But that's quite a dramatic flash there. That I'm gonna put that into the anomaly category. It's not slam dunk by any means there, that can be potentially explained by normal means, but it is very interesting. Oh, another flash. I'm putting that
anomalous object
in the anomalous
confirmed
category there. But yes, a normal camera with a long HDMI lead there. Right, bouncing back over to the tubes, guys. Let's see where we got to with you guys there. Evening, Susie. How are you doing there? And Stewman as well. Oh, you're asking, this is your internal conversations. I'm skipping those. And Where are we? Let me go down there. And up there, I reckon plasmoids transcend time and space. Well, they could well be. The plasmoids, guys, if you don't know what they are, I'm a big fan of this theory. The idea is that plasma caught in a magnetic field is called a plasmoid, but that they may actually be sentient. You've heard of things like ball lightning, but they have been observed on multiple occasions to be like acting in a group, adapting to their environment, even reproduction and things like that. So there's an argument that maybe there's been this intelligent life that has been here on Earth all along that we just haven't recognised. But wouldn't that fit an answer for quite a lot of the sightings, these balls of lights in the sky, even one of our own big sightings there? I don't think it's going to be all of the phenomena, but I do think that could be part of it. But when we can bring into these, if life is so different like that, it may not interact or experience time or dimensions in the same way that we do. And that is, that is purely... That is very scientific as well, like that's not a fringe theory at all. And they're right on the cusp, I think, of announcing that one. In fact, a UK government report, which is what we did on one of our deep dives, the Condign report in around the late 90s, early 2000s from the UK government, basically the conclusion of that report looking into the phenomena was, that we need to look into these plasmoids a lot more. That's another flashing one there across the screen. Where are we down there? Where are we there? How are we doing? Colin coming in there. And we aren't alone there. The silly bit is thinking they came from another star. So, I don't think we're alone. But I don't also will exclude all the theories. I think the universe is going to be incredibly diverse. Just because there is, say maybe a dimensional capacity to this time, or is it just another sentient species that's been here all along, or an earlier version of humanity, something like that maybe. There, but just because one of those things may be true doesn't mean that the others aren't either. In fact, if you look at the range of what is being spoken about with the phenomena, it does seem to be, it could be a little bit of everything going on. Now, it doesn't mean that it is, though. It may be the case that it is just one of them, but I think we need to look to our reality, what we do experience, to see how varied it is there, and I think that could be a thing. In fact, life is going to be absolutely abundant out there in the universe. Those early signs are pointing that way, but can it reach us? Maybe life is absolutely everywhere, but the things that we're seeing here aren't extraterrestrials traveling this vast distance. Maybe it is then that life form that's been with us the whole time. Maybe it's a life form that we don't fully understand or can even comprehend. But until I think we get some more slam dunk evidence, I've got to keep it open there. And where are we there? Oh, I can't see the translation of that one, sadly. Polly, it's not translating for us, sadly, so I won't be able to answer that one. And exactly as Ayup says there, all questions are a welcome at all. Never hesitate there. Oh, floating in the endless void. Thank you for the translation there, Polly. Yeah, we are. This is our reality. We are floating in an endless void. But there are things in the void. They're just quite far apart there. And Antarctica would be a good place to hide, and it is huge. It's about the size of Africa. It really is. It's a cracking place to hide, and we actually have a few of them. They're not short of places. If you are, example, old school here, an extraterrestrial civilization traversing the galaxy, and you want to hang out here for a bit, but you don't want us, aggressive monkeys to start bothering you, where would you hide? Well, Antarctica's a great one. We're not going to bother you too much there, and look, the weather isn't going to bother you if you've been traveling through space. But the oceans are a brilliant place to hide. Lots of accounts there as well. But also, my favorite is the moon. You are so slam dunk here, but you're also so well hidden in every which way, shape or form. It's the perfect beachhead there. Probably our biggest vulnerability here on Earth there. And Colin, is the view from the camera the same or different from town or area to area in terms of visibility there? And I'm in Scotland and Cumberland, and it might be harder to view. So a lot of it is the same. A lot of it's the same, but there are sort of slight differences. I mean, especially if there's like local light pollution. It's a really good question. So local light pollution and obviously weather conditions and atmospherics, that can affect your visibility and clarity. But essentially, if you're up in Scotland, and I mean, the UK ain't that big. It's a few hundred miles, isn't it there? So from out these sorts of distances, with the perspective, we're all going to have that very similar view of the night sky there. I think it's when you start to change your latitude properly, you're going to probably see some different things. So it'll be roughly similar. Like, I mean, you'll see the same star arrangement, but for you, it might be ever so slightly up a bit more than it is for me, but not by much from where you are there. It's a good question there. Have you seen the film The Abyss, Amanda? I have. I saw it again recently, and it's a cracking film. Maybe there is something along those lines. Maybe there is a species that has been with us here on Earth the whole damn time. We just haven't noticed it because we haven't been fighting with it for resources because it is so separate from us. I'm definitely open to that plausibility. For me, that doesn't seem ridiculous at all, especially with the USO reports. Again, a part of the phenomena that's coming out now more and more. Not that it didn't happen before. It was recorded before. It's been recorded throughout history. Even Christopher Columbus, traveling to the New World there, had a sighting that we would definitely call a UFO now. So it's been happening the whole time. It just never got the attention. It was always out there. Going to bounce back over to the tubes there. Oh, A-Up there need to head off their early start. No worries, A-Up, but thank you so much as always for being awesome. We'll catch you later on there. Hope your day goes well. I'm going to bounce back over to the TikTok. Sorry, where did we get through? And Megan there. Oh, what kind of camera? It's a Sony A7, I think. But the trick is the lens. The most important part is the lens. And I found that out the expensive way by going through lenses. There. I can never remember the number. It's the name. It's all just letters and numbers. B3 needs a looking over. To be honest there, let's have a look at B3 a bit behind it now. But where is my cursor? I'm always saying that's my catchphrase. So B3 here. Oh, look at the colours we're getting in there. Look at some of the differences, all these purples now and oranges. This one up here, I don't know if you can all see it. I think you should all be able to see it. Look, in A1, that is Vega. It's about 26 light years from us there, but it's a star that's burning much brighter, much bigger, much hotter than our sun there. So it won't last as long. It's going to burn out quicker. But as that gets into the middle, that's going to be a really, really big, bright and beautiful for us tonight. Just look at some of the colours that are coming through. Spoiled for it tonight there. And is it Nath there? Is it true using night vision at night helps you see craft? Yes, it is. So a lot of the time, night vision goggles use infrared, so that is a colour, essentially. It's part of the light spectrum that we don't see with the human eyes, but you know, it gets emitted generally from other sources, but also you can have infrared light on and you're not going to destroy your night vision because we won't pick it up with our eyes. So a lot of night vision, very roughly, they use the infrared to get their light in so you can see, and that part of the light spectrum apparently is very active for UFOs, for craft there. Apparently that is only the part that you can see for a lot of them, so that is something that we're trying to upgrade to as well, because this camera technically can do that. We just need to send it away to a person to make those changes, but yeah, apparently there is a high correlation with events you can only see in the infrared there. Kate coming in with the shares, appreciate that guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves, more eyes and minds on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. And TikTok there, A1 is moving slowly there, orange to look at it there, and A1 right at the top down there. I'm a bit behind on that one there, and it's Sweeney. Again, thank you for those follows. Oh yes, just an update there. Skinwalker Ranch has had a square clouds seen on there. Very, very interesting. Somebody, that's very interesting. Who was it? There's a guy that was coming into our chat. I don't think he's in at the minute, but he was photographing and sharing exactly the same thing, but over here in the UK, the square clouds, and he was like, has anybody ever seen anything like this? Have you heard about it? I'm like, it's interesting, but I don't know anything of it in there. But it's very interesting that you mentioned that as well there. Adam as well, Kate coming in with the shares there, and Leslo as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Where are we going down to there? Feed him exactly. Good a spot in there, Amanda. And Nocturnal Frequency, how are you doing? Oh, lots of activity tonight. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. And that's just what we could, 5, 6. Oh, 6. Can we beat our number of 6 on the screen there tonight? So if you are just joining us, we are doing a live UFO UAP. Oh, sorry, it's a bit too bright. UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. There we go. We are looking out to the stars here in the middle of crop circle country here in Wiltshire. Oh, the flash. See if that happens again. It's just, oh, is it going to move? Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh no, that is a straight line. What? It didn't. Where'd that thing bugger off to? That's very interesting. That definitely should have flashed more than that, being that bright.
Anomalous object. Confirmed.
I like that one. That's a good one. We've had a few tonight. Okay, this is good. Things are spicing up a little bit there. So yeah, guys, make sure you're following or subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you are there, because we do this pretty much every night. Clear skies. It's UFO UAP Skywatch right from the heart of Crop Circle Country and just down the road from Stonehenge. Cloudy nights, we do an alien radio signal hunt. Like the film Contact, we're searching out on the frequency where scientists think we are most likely to hear a message from ET, where the wow signal was heard in the past. There's worries on the hunt there, but if you're new, say hello and let us know where you're watching from. Ask away any questions. There's no silly questions here at all. So yeah, do share your experiences as well. Let's have a look there. Moon greys are humans, human, is it? Fallen wow species, and we are a human primate species, both human, and it's why we can breed with them. It's also why offspring can't breed, and humans, but not our kind, to each of its own kind. Well, that's interesting. So a wow species there. So how does that with the, because that is, I know they're technically mammals. Look how bright that one is as well. But they're not close enough normally to breed now. Are they like, you know, the whales from the future? Or that's very interesting, Moon. I like the sound of that. Tell us more. And Wise Man, at the end of the abyss, when the huge wave is heading for the beach, spoilers, it's an old film, guys, there are two young guys on the beach. One guy pulls the other guy shorts down for a laugh, and the editor missed it, and it's still there. That's the theatrical release, isn't it? Because actually, if you get the home release, the DVD or the video, it's a totally different ending. They got rid of that for the thing, but I haven't actually seen the theatrical one of the wave, but I do love it when that's a good bit of humour there. I bet they were so pissed when they realised that. And syntax there's two colours we can't see, infrared and ultraviolet there. Are they both included? So yes, they are. So down the low end of the light spectrum, what we see with the human eye, remember that colour grid, you know, where you see all of the different shades there, that's the bit that we see, the visible light as humans. But right down the lower end, you've got infrared. Right on the high end, you've got ultraviolet. So there's bits that we don't see, but sounds kind of the way as well. And if you're getting older, you'll know exactly what we mean by this. The low end and the high ends we don't hear, as part of reality that we do not experience directly. Luckily, we've got sensors for it. Again, this camera can do both infrared and ultraviolet, but I said we have to send it away to a gentleman on the Isle of Wight that'll take it apart. It means we'll be out for a camera for a week, so we're trying to work that one out. It's been on the list for a long time, but I think we'd see so much more action. I think it'd be a total game changer there. They are human there, and the greys there, Arodis there. See, it makes sense that they are. So where does the human definition split off there? Because you know, I know we've got Homo sapien, Homo erectus, and like going down the list, but this is not my area. I'm really scraping the barrel here. So with this lineage there of the human, where does that? Cause where does it branch out then to the greys, you know, down that route? Because this is the thing, we've got to be related in some sense there. The greys, in any version that you hear from people, they look far too similar for us there, too similar to us there to not be related. The chances of convergent evolution looking exactly like it does there, I mean, you could maybe go bipedal species, heads on shoulder, those sorts of things there, but as close to it, I mean, there's got to be that connection, isn't there? And we don't know where the human genome came from there. Best guess is God. I mean, that's an interesting angle, whether we talk God, an overall creator, or a big G God, or a little G God, like the Anunnaki, talking about things, this molecular things. So that is a very interesting angle there. Moon as well. Brains v and no brains. Well, this is it there. And if greys exist, I think they are AI units or virtual suits. So they may well be. There's been an argument, isn't it? They are essentially biological robots. Maybe AI populates their programming, but maybe it's a meat suit rather than silicon and chips. Lots of interesting theories around the things. I do find it fascinating, and there is so much to go on, and that is out there. So we are not short there. And Andrew, how are you doing there? Where are you located, and what time is it there? So, Andrew, there's a few of those on the screen at the minute there, but it is 10 to midnight here, and we are in the UK. Right in the heart of Crop Circle Country. They just want me to say the line. And Paul as well there. We need to figure out how to tell who's piloting these ships. 100%. I've said this for a while, and luckily we are going down this route. But Andrew, where are you joining us from tonight? Good to have you in. We need to stop adding to all of the million variations of the phenomena, which is fascinating, but we need to start locking in some of the details, pushing these things to the next level. But it feels like we are eventually starting to get there. Look how bright this one is.
Zoom mode activated.
Again, it's not doing that anomalous behavior. We need to see this thing stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory, because something like that will tell us for sure that it is a little bit stranger than a man-made object. But until it does that, we just won't know for sure. But keep your eyes out. We will see. We've already seen a couple of anomalies tonight. So tonight it's lovely and clear. It's going to be a good. And moon there. The greys come from the sea, and they are filter feeders and cannot understand our fascination with food. I mean, they come from the sea. The filter feeding makes sense, and it makes the lineage makes sense there as well. Texas, I love that, Paul. I do love a bit of Texas. Had a few people from your way in, and I'm very jealous of how just your skies and your scenery is fantastic there.
Zoom mode activated.
Okay, another bright, fast one here. Keep your eyes on them. Oh, so probably zooming out moves the screen, so it's hard to follow it. But keep your eyes on them. Again, we're looking out for that strange movement there. That will tell us for sure. But flashing, coloration, anything like that will confirm that it is something very, very anomalous indeed. But make sure you're following or subscribed to whatever it is, wherever you are, because we do this every night. Clear skies. It's UFO UAP watch from the heart of Crop Circle country here and just down the road from Stonehenge. But cloudy nights is the alien radio signal hunt. Where did we get to there, didn't we? Thomas, thank you for the follow. And can you see 3i Atlas? So sadly not. No, it's far too far out for us there. The light that gets reflected off of it is just too dim for us to detect. In fact, it's now so far out most people can't. It's at that sort of point where it's pushing a lot of our sensors. So we're probably not going to get a lot more information on it. It won't be long until it's so far out that it could do a loop-de-loop and, you know, a big wave, and we just wouldn't know there as well. It really did. That one was an anomaly there. Stacey as well, thank you for joining us there. Good evening from Scotland. Very active is Scotland there. Have you seen anything yourself there? Oh, goal achieved. Thank you for that one, guys. All that gift subs, the members, all that jazz does go back into the stream. Help us to prove what we do. Adam completing the goal. Thank you. And TikTok there, Steven Spielberg's new movie. So he said he's giving the world a single step to the truth. And it fits not just with the content, but with the timing, with his history around the phenomena. I am very, very open to that being the case. Haven't seen it myself yet, but I'm hearing very good things. And Paul, what are the small dots moving across the sky? Brilliant question, Paul. So most of what we're going to see tonight are man-made satellites. There's about 15,000 of the damn things up there, and it's only getting more and more. But that is not always 100%. So we're watching those objects moving across the screen like we've got here right now. And if we see them stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory, that will tell us for sure that they are something a little bit stranger, because those objects are basically, they're falling to Earth in a big circle. That is the nature of an orbit. They can't just stop and wiggle around and do those sorts of things. So that means that there is technology and energy involved there that we just don't have as humans. So that gives us a real slam dunk. But there's a middle ground that we're looking out for, which is flashing, coloration. Sometimes those can be anomalous. It's not as clear cut, but we've had a couple of those tonight already. So the skies are not doing badly. So yeah, most of the time, unless there is something strange, we have to just go, it's probably a man-made satellite. But even then, saying that, what we're seeing tonight, people have seen for years before man-made satellites were up there in orbit. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if it's boring, you know, and just, you know, steady across the screen, it doesn't mean it always is. In fact, what we really need and what we're really asking for is ET to be flying across the screen, realise he's left his keys at home, and do an interstellar handbrake turn over the camera. Now, what are the odds are that? It does happen, but again, obviously it's going to be a lot rarer. Waiting for the stars to align like that. And Shizu are there as well. How are you doing there? Thank you for the follow. And where are we? Down a few on screen there. Oh, have you seen any orbs or plasmoids? So, John, brilliant one. We have, I think, seen one, and it was fantastic. It was so big, so bright, and so orange. Much faster than the satellites, but a lot slower than the shooting stars. We've got a clip on our TikTok. It should be pinned. And I think that's what that was. It was so different to anything else we've seen there. A big fan of the plasmoids as well there. And just a weird thought to see two things collision on your screen on the Skywatch. I mean, it would. Every time they look like, then you see them, and it looks like they're going to crash. Now, from our point of view, they look like, but obviously if you do it like go sideways on, they're actually probably far apart, you know. But they are really worried about that now. They're getting even more worried, and the idea is that basically it could create a snowball effect. One satellite hits another, that's 1,000 pieces all flying around at the speed of bullets, and that one of those or two of those pieces hit another couple of satellites with then more pieces, and snowball effect. They call it Kessler syndrome, and they're really, really worried about that. Look at the brightness difference with these two compared to some of the others that we've been seeing tonight. So yeah, they are worried about that. Oh, it's moving away, Thomas. It's far. It flew through the solar system. Basically, if you imagine our solar system as a big circle, it came in right through the middle, which is one of the reasons why it's odd. Now it's off on its way out the other side. It's quite far away now. But if you're interested in Atlas there, definitely look into Oumuamua, which was the first interstellar object from a few years ago. That was very, very strange indeed. And what about orbs there? So I don't know with the orbs. It'd kind of be hard to tell at these altitudes until we get the movements. But yeah, so I don't know if we've seen that. But actually saying that, John, every now and again, and hopefully we're going to be doing it next week, we're provisionally booking, if the weather holds, Wednesday, Thursday, to do an on-location again on the old Iron Age hill forts that surround these towns right here in the heart of Crop Circle country, where all of those historic UFO sightings are. We take the rig, take you guys up there with us, and we do it live up there. Very kind of different event. But saying that, there was an orb. It seemed to be close, not quite at ground level, but like sort of head height, that was on the hill with us. Really, really interesting experience that was. That was the last time we went up. So hopefully, guys, you'll catch us for that. Now, it's definitely worth making sure that you're over and you joined our YouTube as well, because trying to do 2 streams at once might be difficult, and we might end up having to pick one. So you want to make sure you're across both platforms, you don't miss out there, just in case it doesn't work out doing the two different locations. But also, if you are on the vertical, definitely worth checking out the tubes, because that basically the sky is where you got it like this, but it's up the correct way. There's less of me, more of it, and there's also some contextual analysis there. So at the thing UFO, a lot of people think it's a better experience there, so definitely worth checking us out over there as well. And Paul as well, is there any news on the Planet X/Nibiru? So I think the last thing I heard, which wasn't too long ago, was they think they are so close to being able to actually confirm it, because it's heavily speculated. There's all this evidence here due to like weird angles of planets and their orbits that all look like they've had interactions with a larger body, but they haven't actually been able to identify it directly. But I think they're waiting for some new telescopes that are due online this year, which should lock that one in and actually get an eye on it there. It's very interesting, as long as that orbit is very far out there and it's not what they call an eccentric orbit, which basically means not one of those nice circular planet ones, but if it kind of comes out, spends 20,000 years out there in the distance and then kind of comes back through the inner solar system, that would wreak havoc with us. But that would fit in with the Anunnaki and the Nibiru stuff. But hopefully that's not the case there. John, thank you for the follow. And the stuff that he has filmed is eye-opening from what I have read in the news articles. Oh, very cool there. And they communicate as well. Now, I've heard this, the orbs there and the plasmoids and things like that, you know, you can flash lights, you can shine lasers at them. Even this consciousness connection as well can be at play. We haven't started doing that yet, but it is on our list, especially for those on-location ones to start to try there. Emma, keep up the good spotting. Sorry, I'm a bit behind. Let's have a quick check. But no, I'm behind there. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the screen. Right, our new total for tonight is 7. Remember, 14 is what we want to beat. That's their best one. And yeah, just watch and think how much the world would be worth it after it ever happened. What if you're like, I know, like, would we, think of how we rely on space though, that might make it impenetrable. We might, until that stuff burns up, which could be 10 years, could be 100 years, space might be out of bounds for us there. Did they say that what Free Atlas was? And everything. So it kind of just fell to this middle ground. So we don't actually, and same with the UFO and the alien stuff in general, we do not have actually that good a technology to confirm anything in a real scientific, conclusive way. We get indicators, we get little hints, but our technology isn't there yet. So with old Atlas, we were definitely observing it doing strange things, but we were observing it doing strange organic things and also some strange things that may have pointed to it being something a little bit weirder. So it's kind of just fallen into this big question mark of, it's anomalous, but the scientists are going to go anomalous comet, you know, whereas us will go anomalous, but are you sure it's a comet, lads? So yeah, frustrating that it's going to be into that bit. But as our technology gets better, then I'm sure we will be able to lock these things in. But it is a bit of a slow process. So at the minute, it's an anomalous interstellar object there. But I don't think, and for me as well, I don't necessarily lean to it being, you know, technology. It may be, but it was doing some things that I'm like, that's hard for technology to explain. But you never know. And JR there, bro, I'm telling you, I see nice stuff outside there at night that wasn't there last year. I mean, last year, JR, brilliant there. And, well, firstly, yeah, I mean, there's so much outside. Like, there's a lot more stuff out there. The amount that they're putting up year on year, satellite-wise, that we are going to get more and more observations for it. But it doesn't mean that they are all that. Have you ever seen it change course or speed, JR? Because that, if you've seen it change its speed or its direction, 100% not a man-made object up there. That is something a lot stranger. That's what we're looking out for tonight. Right, well, let's go back over to the tubes there. Let's get up there. Got 3 across there, mouse. Oh, it's very busy. Oh, look at that blue one coming in down here. Should we zoom in on that bad boy?
Zoom
Just
mode
catch it.
activated.
Look how blue that one is in comparison to all of the others. Very, very awesome. Now, that can technically be due to certain reflectivity there. It's not a slam dunk, but it is still interesting and pretty to look at there. And Andrew, you can see UFOs all night there, close to the horizon north. Or, see, north we can't have a look at, sadly, because I've just got the house in the way and it's quite bright over the town. But yes, does seem to be hotspots, considering these are orbits, so they're kind of, circular. There are certain patches of sky that even when we move the camera, it's very interesting. Certain bits are hotbeds for activity there. Caveman, how are you doing there? And Amanda, need a coffee. Hey, Amanda, just saying, we got these wonderful coffee mugs for the stream. Link in bio. There as well. But speaking of which, we actually are we're putting it all in at the minute into our on location. So not just the hill forts, we actually want to do a bit of a UK tour of all of the UFO hotspots. Our first one is going to be Rendlesham Forest, where the crash apparently happened in the 80s there. But a lot of sort of paranormal, cryptid, folklorish history of that forest as well. So that's going to be cool. But we want to do a live skywatch from there. So that is what we are kind of all going in to do at the minute there. So hopefully, if we can, we'll be in the next month or two. But we ultimately want to do all of the UK UFO hotspots, Falkirk Triangle, the Welsh crash sites there. What's the black-eyed children, where are they? But yeah, doing all of the hotspots. Andrew there, these objects are similar to satellites and look like a star moving across the sky. It gets bright and then it fades out there. And I have long exposure pictures that shows them corkscrewing. Now, that's a very interesting angle there, Andrew. See, the long exposure will give you information that we're not going to get here. I didn't consider that. That's brilliant. But that corkscrewing behavior, that's not what satellites do, is it? Mostly similar across the board. So this is the thing. A satellite flying around there in an orbit, that's going to be a straight line there. But also, that's what ET's going to do. They're going to be in a straight line. There's nothing to avoid. Instead, unless they realise they've left their keys at home and they do the interstellar handbrake turn over the screen, they're both going to be reflecting that sun's light back down to us. So they're going to look very similar most of the time. But that subtle, I assume, corkscrewing behaviour that you can identify in the long exposure versus it, that is very anomalous. I can't think of a reason why they would do that one. There are now 12 tribes of human species on the planet, which itself has 12 physical worlds, and we are children in the technological sense, for entertainment purposes only. I like that for the entertainment, but I definitely explain a few things there as well. Reminds me of kind of Stargate there, where all of the different sort of differences between us and human races and things were historically tied in to those things. And Harry Rich there. Have I missed any UFO there? Was watching the riots. Oh my god, they're still going on. Bloody hell, what time we live in. So, did you catch the second anomaly? We were getting some bright flashing. That was an interesting one. And they can soften rock with thought. Very interesting. I suppose, would that be sort of like wavelengths there that's doing that? Because I've heard of the geopolymers and stuff doing it chemically. But that's interesting there. And they fear us. We are protected. We can, however, choose to deny that protection. Ooh. See, this is the thing at the minute. I hear all these wonderful accounts and these ideas and around how it all works like that. I feel like a kid in a candy shop with all of these ideas that you guys are bringing in there. So I like that. And Stu, man, I'm obviously new to the group there, so I'm wondering if you ever caught a possible sighting of the TR3B. So Stu, brilliant question, and you're very, very welcome in here. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of you because we are on every night there. So potentially once, and we're coming up maybe about 10 months away from the end of it. Well, no, it's about 10 months ago or something, because it wasn't long after we started doing the stream, but there was this perfectly triangular formation just kind of almost floated across above my little camera box and just floated across the screen there. There is a clip, but it's really bad because the quality setup wasn't the same back then, basically. But it looked different because we've seen there is a formation of a satellite formation that's in a triangle shape there. It's quite rare, but it's a gravitational wave detector or something, but 3 dots moving. But this was a bit different. This was the 3 dots was the main bit, but it appeared to block out the stars as it went over it there, implying there was a physical triangular shape to it. Once we've seen that. So was it the TR3B or was it something more alien? I don't know, but I would love to think it's a TR3B. Have you ever had an experience like that yourself there? And Andrew, what we need to be concerned about is all of the dust covering the sun's surface there. It's turning black. What dust? I've not heard about this one. I mean, I know there is a lot of dust out there in space, but you wouldn't have thought uniform dust would have just sort of melted away or something. But that's very interesting. I've not heard about this. And reality is much, much more complicated than you can imagine. Moon, oh, that, bang on for that. The idea, guys, that we not only do we not observe what objective-based reality is, like, obviously we don't have the sensors for it, but the fact that we could even potentially conceive anywhere near close of what the full picture of is what's going on is gonna be with no chance of our human minds and stuff, because we don't need to. We've evolved to survive. Anything that wasn't necessary to survive, or like knowing all of reality, just wasn't needed. In the same way that we don't see the full light spectrum, you know, it just wasn't needed. Enough things that were only in the infrared didn't kill us enough for us to develop the ability to see it there. So it's before than we can even conceive. I would very much say that one, Moon. And what's that? Is that Boogers there? Do you ever see yourself going on a pilgrimage to Area 51 or Skinwalker Ranch for content? I would love to. I think it's going to be a long way away financially, but yeah, so we want to do our UK tour, first of all, of the hotspots there, but ultimately, like, the dream would be to do a skywatch from the Roswell crash site, from just outside the gates of Area 51 till they kick us off there, you know, Skinwalker Ranch, or as close as we can get, Kecksburg, you know, all of the crash site, you know, anywhere that's got that history. I'd love to do the bit of an international one like that, you know, see the different skies where all of the action has happened over the years, whether it's still an active hotspot or not. I think that would be absolutely awesome. So that's the dream. I think we're probably quite far away from it, but if you do want to help us kick off our road trip there, going, said Rendlesham Forest first, look, we've got merch, link in bio for that. It all goes back into doing that stuff at the minute. No doubt in the pub for me. Alan, on the other hand, might, but no, it's all back into the stream. And if you haven't seen it, we've got our UFO logbooks are in now as well, so you can put in all of your sightings and things like that. But yes, all said goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we do. And in this case, it's doing the going on the road to do a few more locations, get some different skies there. And Indigo, how are you doing? You missed a couple of bits tonight, but I hope you are well. Print yours there. Where are we? Down here. And the sun went from yellow to white, and it will turn black next, and it'll get red and then fill the sky before flashing over. That's why they are here. I'm trying to think how that would work with my very limited understanding of the brain there. It's interesting, but I haven't heard anything about that in sort of the astronomical circles on that. Is there a way, where could I look for more on that? Because it's absolutely fascinating. I mean, just how they think, you know, stars form, how they work. Endlessly interesting there. And they like to say the sun has always been a white. I have yet to see a white sun emoji. Well, yeah, because of our atmosphere, it changes the colour apparently, doesn't it, to us there? But we're a white dwarf, our sun. Apparently, there it changed in the 90s. Is that definitely not an Earth thing with our atmosphere versus the sky, the sun? I mean, we do know the sun does change. It goes through cycles and stuff, doesn't it? There, so we know it can change, and obviously it can be interacting with its environment and stuff like that. And Tank there, I am a vulture. How are you doing? Then Indigo, what did I miss there? So we what was it from earlier? We had a couple of weird, like, bright flashing ones that kind of just appeared middle screen, disappeared middle screen, which implies that it's not the Earth shadow causing that, which is very, very interesting. Excuse me. Mandela cast a sun spell. Who's Mandela? Not Nelson. Right, gonna bounce back over to the TikTok. Where did we get? And Leicestershire, very good there, JR. Matt got 3 across, good spotting there. And X is back. How are you doing tonight there? And I think the Nordics are here on Earth. I think if it is possible, and they do think that things like warp drive, which would help people navigate these vast distances there, if it is achievable, we should say, rather than possible, because we know it's possible, of course people would visit us here. But maybe they've been here all along. Maybe we're connected in some way. That's why we look so similar. It is very busy tonight. It's been a very good night for sightings so far. We had a bit of a quiet patch, but it's really kicking off at the minute. So guys, if you see anything, drop the grid reference in the chat. And TikTok there, see, Free Eye Atlas could have been a ship that had something to do with a Skinwalker Ranch drill site. I mean, this thing is hard. It could have been a ship. It definitely did a lot of anomalous stuff. The thing that I can't get over with old Atlas is that it just outgassed a hell of a lot of material, and I just can't think in my head of why a technological object would carry all of that material through space just to outgas it, you know, coming through a solar system. Like, what did that achieve? You know, why would it do that? You know, that's what I could, but I'm sure there could be an answer. But that's what I just couldn't. That was the thing for me that it was just so much like a comet that I'm like, you know, what's the explanation? But it still did do weird stuff. So yeah, not a very hard-held belief. If you look at these things in this, is that another flash around here? See if it comes back. If you look at these things in the sky with complete darkness, your eyes will see a small zips up and down. So that up and down, that changing and move direction, there is very, very anomalous there. That is what we are looking out for. That is the gold standard. So if you've seen that, I'm loving that. Carl, we're putting in an order next week. Awesome, Carl. Appreciate that. There as well. I've still got to get more samples in of the other stuff. We've only got the free L4 t-shirts available. But I actually quite like it. That's why mainly reason I'm quite banging on is because like normally merch is just incredibly boring. But we've got some actual designs. Not that you can really see it that well. I think on the TikTok, the tubes they come up, but I actually quite like the designs. I find myself wearing them. M to the C, loving the stickers there. 8,000 followers. What? Did we eventually pass the 8,000? Hold on a damn minute. I didn't even know we were close to that one. Oh, we have 8,002 on the TikTok there. Well, thank you, Agents, for letting us know. Insane there. Do you remember when we kept saying when we hit the 10,000, we'll do Stonehenge? That is another one on our local list. We're going to do, because you can get quite close to Stonehenge at night. So could you imagine if we lowered the camera a bit, just see the top of the stones? But then doing a Skywatch. Lots of history of the strange and anomalous over Stonehenge over the years. Then Phil there, and out again there with my Dwarf 3, taking pictures of the Cocoon Nebula C19R. Phil, hey, join our Discord, guys. Links in the bio for that one, because we love to see your images, your astrophotography. Not just the UFO stuff, the astrophotography and stuff too there. Definitely worth it. But obviously, if you do have UFO stuff as well, personal experience section is very worth it there. Thomas as well, thank you for the follow. There. You and Pete outside Area 51. He would get me arrested, wouldn't he, Kate? But hey, that's the dream. That's the dream. If one day, for some reason, we do whatever scale that would need to be to make it work, that would be the dream. That's the ultimate goal, to be able to do like a regular, like on location elsewhere. TikTok coming in with the shares there. In fact, that does help us get there. It's the likes and the shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. You never know who's going to come in and what they're going to share with us there. It's my favourite part. And Think Glass there, how are we doing? Thank you for the follow there. And TikTok, if we never had photogenic, it would look a bit different in colour. Is that photogenic? How are we doing, Captain Blue Nose? Good to see you in tonight. How have you been? There, where are we down here? TikTok as well. And 3i Atlas had a 1.6 hertz signal. Did it really? Because I haven't heard that. That's the one I knew people were looking at it, but I haven't actually had anybody or seen anybody say that they've detected it that I've seen. But I'll be very interested because 1.6. I'm trying to think. Oh wait, no, there was. What was because certain elements, they release a radio, hence why we call it the hydrogen line. You know, it has a natural radio signal. I didn't think 1.6 was anything organic like that, though. I want to see that. That would be very, very... That might change my mind, TikTok. That might change my mind quite a bit there, if I could see that. But yeah, that would be fascinating. It definitely was anomalous, but that might swing me over the line there. And Thomas, it might be a stupid question, but do you think that there be an alien invasion there? Thomas, not a stupid question at all. It's a brilliant one. And ultimately, like, we don't know. I don't think we should assume good intent or bad intent either way. And look, if you've had a direct experience yourself there where you've got a little bit closer to that, then kind of fair enough, you can side with these things. But I mean, even saying that, like, if they are far enough advanced to be reaching us or to have been with us here for thousands of years and us not fully notice, then they can definitely probably hide their true motivation. We just wouldn't know if they were manipulating us there. I think we just need to be careful with it. I don't think it's obvious that there's an invasion. But maybe there's a longer game play. Maybe we're their product. Maybe we're their farm or their zoo. And there's lots of variations on it. But I don't think in the traditional, what's the film? Independence Day style invasion anytime soon anyway. But you don't know. And where is Atlas now, I wonder? Off out there, definitely out of the inner solar system, going through probably the, what do they call it now? What's the asteroid belt, or probably somewhere like that. And the Tocker won't post your comments about reaching the goal before summer solstice. Oh, yeah. I don't know if it would. Summer solstice might be pretty... could you imagine that? Trying to do that with all those people around? Maybe just afterwards. Maybe it'd be a bit quieter just after summer solstice there. But that could be maybe. Although now we want to do it on the tubes as well. We need to get you guys get the numbers up over there. I'm going to build our little community of like-minded people up. I've heard the Greys are bad. I've definitely heard stories about them. I mean, maybe they're bad because this is the thing, is human interpretation. I mean, how many times, guys, have you had a conversation with friends and you've gone, oh, that went awfully? What do they think of me? Or what are they talking about me? You know, you've perceived it wrong. And then for some reason you come in and you go, no, that's not what we meant. You know, and you go, oh, silly me. Like, human perception of what we're experiencing is this whole other layer. So the fact that, you know, people may be being abducted and they can perceive that negatively, you know, how do we know really what's going on? Maybe it's, you know, maybe they're looking after us there, like the vets coming in, the animals don't know that it's good for them, or maybe it is negative and we just don't know either way. So it's so confusing there. And it's on YouTube documentary about it, and it was said to have some sort of dimension control within. Oh, interesting. Oh, I hadn't heard that one. Very interesting there. Get there early in the morning. Well, see, getting there early in the morning is fine, because I'm not asleep by then. It's getting up early in the morning that I have trouble with. Going to bounce back over to the tubes. You guys have been patiently waiting. So if you are just joining us, guys, we are doing a live UFO, a UAP, a Skywatch night. We are coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. Lots of strange things in these skies. So do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask any questions, but also drop the grids in there. And if it is interesting, if it's anomalous, the movement, the mods will highlight the grids there so we can take a closer look. But do say hello. Where are we? Down on the chat over here on the tubes. Got to tank, didn't we, there? And what I recorded and shared on YouTube are saucers entering and exiting this dimension, belly first, covered in plasma, corkscrewing. So I like a lot of that sort of stuff. Now, the dimensional angle, I think, is very, very interesting with this. And I think that can play a very, very big part of it. But we have to remember that we don't necessarily culturally have a good understanding of dimensions. Like, especially with Hollywood, they tell us that a dimension is this pocket that you can pop in and pop out of. And that's not strictly true. Dimensions are the same space that we're in. It's just a different way to interact with it, you know. So, example, we operate in 3 spatial dimensions, you know, forward and backwards, left and right, up and down. So we can basically operate in those, and forward in time is the spatial one. But in theory, depending which version of science you go with, they do think there are more spatial dimensions than that. But we just can't conceive or perceive of them. So if there is an alien or a craft that is, say, 5 dimensions and we're in 3 physical dimensions, we wouldn't see all of it. We just can't see all of it there. We'd only see the bits of it that are in the 3-dimensional part. And there's this absolutely amazing video to describe, because it's so hard to try it, because you're trying to describe something the brain can never understand. But go, guys, check out Hannah Fry. It's one of her shorts. It's a recent one. It's talking about 5-dimensional objects or whatever, but it shows you what they mean by what we would perceive out of that. And a lot of it are these spheres and sorcery shapes. That sort of stuff is what we'd see. And that doesn't mean that the actual shape of the craft are that, but we can't conceive of those other dimensions. But what we can conceive is the kind of balls and spheres. That's why they pop in and out of reality. It's too advanced for me to describe, but it makes so much sense right up what you're talking about there. And we are going to meet these beings before the near extinction event there. Reality is nothing like what we believe. Oh, I could have bang on, Andrew, that. Bang on. Reality is going to be... Look, this is the thing. It's good for us to have structures, even if they're wrong, as long as they're not in the opposite direction wrong. But, you know, you have something to work from. You know, there's a degree of functionality to it. This is our best guess so far. And that is brilliant. Science is great at that, and it's great at updating these things. But when we mistake the map, basically, for the terrain, that's when we make mistakes. Go, no, because the map says this. You know, our map is our best guess, our best interpret. But the terrain is dynamic. It sometimes changes. You know, we're not necessarily going to know all of the details. And that is, I think, the thing there. We kind of get those confused. We go, well, this is what society and education is telling us is going on. But no, that's the placeholder until we know more. That's the starting point. That is just the surface of it there. Indigo, good spotting there. I think I missed those ones, though, sadly. Oh, Moon is coming through as redacted. We have to try wording it differently. Maybe it'll come through there. Pulsing thing in C3 there, Boogus there, and it's a moving. Damn it, I think I totally missed that one. This is a nice bright one coming in. It's the problem when I'm into different chats there. There we go. Look at this one.
Zoom mode activated.
Look how bright that one is in comparison compared to... Whoa, that's a nice flash. That's more of a flare. Right, if that one does it again, I don't think it will. Zoom out. I don't think it will, guys. But if it does, then that can be anomalous there. So keep your eyes on that one. And find a way to record the northwest and northeast from dusk till dawn there. You'll see UFOs all night until August the 15th. Oh, that's a nice blue one coming down. We can, but just not for that long, because we have to be out on location, sadly. But I wouldn't mind figuring out, or trying to figure out a better way of doing it there. And there is a Storm Area 51 documentary on Netflix. I remember that from the time. Shame they didn't do it, really, isn't it, there? And they are good and bad, and we are being ruled by the bad. And evil's time to rule is coming to an end. I mean, it's plausible. It's plausible. Look, I don't think we should assume that they are going to be one or t'other. I think they're going to be complex like we are. You know, I think there's going to be as much diversity up there as there is down here. There. And Inspector Morse, how have you been? It's good to see you. How is life treating you? The train wreck, Storm Area 51. Frequency, vibration, and parallel realms and reality. Very interesting. I'm definitely open to a lot of these things there. You don't watch Morse, you live it. I feel the very same about the TV series Lovejoy. Being ruled by the bad, David Icke was saying that today. And Indigo, yeah, I saw. I mean, David Icke is one of those ones that, you know, some people write off. And do I think his assessment of the situation is going to be 100%? No. I think there's going to be connections, judgments based on things that are real, that are, you know, he's trying to paint a picture with limited evidence, like what we're all doing. But I think, you know, there's going to be something to it. But this is the thing, is that any human interpretation of these things is likely to be very, very wrong. It's going to be the percentage of right rather than a full-on yes or no. And Maddie, popping in and out of reality. That is the best way of... oh, the stream started buffering there, Stefan. There. Bloody thing. We've actually got all right connection here for once, damn it. But check out, basically on that one, Hannah Fry, one of her recent-ish shorts there, talks about 3 to 5 dimensional and what we'd see. It's absolutely worth it doing it there. Moon, literally, I saw the message, and when I went to read it next, it's just disappeared as redacted again. I don't know what YouTube's problem is. Sorry about that. And Andrew, a close cropped picture in my post shows that the disc in the long exposure corkscrew. Now that is I need to check that one out. Are they on your tubes there, Andrew? Oh, flash. Check around here if that happens again. I can't see any actual movement. Oh, is that over there this time? I'll zoom back out. Sorry. To get these anomalous flashes that have been seen for years, you know, well before man-made satellites were up there. That was a bright one it was there. The blue objects are Starlink. So Andrew, you're right there. Apparently, it's I learned the other day from one of you guys in the chat there. It's the new design of the summit or other, a lower altitude or something that causes the blue, which makes sense of why we're seeing more and more of them. Absolutely stunning to see, though. Moon, they don't like you. That one come through. It's always the comments that make it through are the ones that, my comments coming through, and I see those ones, but then you don't see, because it does, at least on YouTube it tells us when the message has been, you know, moderated. On TikTok it doesn't, so we just don't know, and people think we're ignoring them. Anyway, Janie, thank you for the gifts. I did miss those ones. I appreciate that. So it all goes back into the stream, same as merch and all that jazz. It helps us improve what we're doing, gets our show on the road. That is what we're saving up for at the minute. We want to take the show to Rendlesham Forest to do a live Skywatch from there. I'm very excited to do that, but also a little bit scared because I get very Scooby-Doo out on location, guys. But if you are just joining us, we are doing a live UFO, a UAP, a sky hunt tonight, Skywatch, I should say, looking out for the strange and anomalous in the night sky. Based here, said right in the heart of crop circle country, lots of strange things in these skies. A2, good spotting on that one. It's moved a bit now, but yeah, keep your eyes on it. We're looking for the anomalous movement. We need to see it stop dead, shoot for speed, change their course or trajectory. Something like that will tell us for sure that it is in fact something a lot stranger there. And where are we, Paul? How many of you guys, so how many of these do you think are satellites? Paul, it's going to have to, I think statistically it's going to have to be most of them. So was it 15 and there's also 1,000 of them up there at the minute. So if you think of the numbers, if we're seeing, you know, more than one genuine UFO per stream versus the amount of satellites, I'd be worried. That's sort of invasion territory. So a lot of them have got to be. But it's just which ones. Obviously, if they do the nice movement, we know easily, but it's much more difficult to guess. And I wonder if the ones that flash at once are the shooting stars coming in head-on rather than streaking across the sky. Ooh, Rich, that's a good angle, yeah, because normally we see that side profile, don't we? But maybe the right sort of time for it. You know what, Rich? That is a very good... wouldn't have even thought of that myself there. Right, let's try and bounce back over to the TikTok. Where did we get to? I believe there's something happening in Antarctica. It could well be. Is that another shooting star at the top? I'm getting there early in the morning. What's not to say that marine mammals evolved in the future and time travelled back to save the seas, but that is again these things to consider. So we've often heard of future humans. That would make sense with the Greys as well. Travelling back for whatever reason, genetic could explain the abductions there. And this is something that times very well with the peak of the abduction phenomenon, which is around the 70s. That was actually the best time that we think in human history that there ever has been, never will be, to sample our genetics. It was when we was most diverse, mixed up with international travel and people mixing their genes internationally much more than they did before, but also before we started polluting ourselves with microplastics and all that sort of shit. So that was possibly the best time to get those genetic samples, which is what people reported during that time for those abductions. And R4 there, all right, perfect. All right, night tonight there, isn't it? And what time are you on till? So R4, normally half an hour ago, but we are on a bit later at the minute, so probably another half an hour or so. We'll have to see. I do have work, but I struggle when it's a nice night like this. I don't want to come off. And the rainbow coloured, when you zoom in, absolutely stunning, isn't it there? And Crazy Coaster, how are you doing there? And X, who is watching Disclosure tomorrow. I sadly am not, because the issues with the stream computer has meant that I'm poor. So you guys have to tell me what it's like. I'm sure I'll see it at some point there. And a good spot in there, R4, that was very bright there. And I've read David Hike, Hidden Live for you. Oh, I have a David Icke Hidden Life. Oh, you know what, X? I'll probably totally miss it. It's the problem. I only check TikTok, don't I? I always miss the bloody good ones. Try it, and maybe we'll get a chance to see it there. And have you seen David Grush saying that he is aware of at least 4 different... I did that press conference yesterday. Honestly, guys, I didn't have much hope for it, but I really do think that moved the needle. So they went out, David Grush there, one of the main credible whistleblowers, a few other people, and some of the senators that are all kind of doing the modern-day disclosure push. And, oh my God, there were a few brilliant points there. First of all, David Grush specified, because in his hearing, he said non-human biologic. It was purposely very vague, because he was required to, because of all the secrecy and things, he couldn't come out publicly and say it. But like yesterday he did say everything from, was it bipedal to the plasmoid sentient plasma life forms, that's some detail. But overall, the whistleblowers that should be getting full immunity, that would really help the cause. That's a big thing. But they said it specifically, but nobody has really picked up on this a lot. But I think the most important part, the smartest part of this, is that they were purposely moving the narrative from the craft to the life itself, to the biologics, because the craft is technology, and that can be classified legitimately under, national security interests there. What threat may it pose, but also what benefit may we get, and also what about our foreign adversaries? We don't want them to know what we know. So that can always be classified. But life itself, non-human life, extraterrestrial life, whatever it may be, isn't classifiable. They'll have a harder time with that. So they were purposely trying to change the conversation to the life forms to make the disclosure easier, to stop them using the classification as a weapon, which I thought was absolutely brilliant there. Just seeing a falling star out the front room window, and it went really bright. Oh, Carl, so you're just sitting here, and when I'm outside, I have to really, really look, and it's very rare that I see one. That must have been bright to catch that one there. And American news, what are the thoughts? I think R4, with the generally, we have to take everything with a pinch of salt, even if it's what we want to hear. In this day and age as well, we have to try and do our best to filter everything through to the best that we can. Everybody has a bias. Just watch War Machine on Netflix. Now, you know what, Rex? It's been suggested before. I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my list. It is on my list there. I'm glad you liked it, though. Where are we there? Good a point for those one-off flashes there, especially when they turn up blue. Yeah, that would, or green as well, because, you know, a lot of the meteorizing greens, that is actually a good consideration there. 4 on screen at the same time. Oh, Aiden X, we had 7 earlier. Doesn't beat our record of 14, but tonight, we did have a record of 7 there. And Kate coming in with the shares. Guys, it's the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. You never know who's going to come in and what experience with the phenomena they're going to share. Not only is that my favourite bit, but I think everybody enjoys that whilst we're waiting for the action. Hearing those accounts, those experiences that people have had there that, you know, you probably haven't heard before, you know, and shed that extra light on it there. So we do appreciate all of that. They're helping us build up our little community. The more eyes and minds, the better. So the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. And definitely, mate, there, it's what we want to hear. But as you say, it's hard to know what's real. It really is there, and that is the downside, isn't it? Especially in the day and age where things can be faked, you know. But it does feel like there's something genuine coming. But again, you know, we need it from multiple sources, don't we, I think, to confirm it there. And Stefan as well there. Thank you for the shares there. Again, appreciate all of those. Let's have a look back over on the tubes there. Good spot in Indigo there. And, oh, where did it go to there? Many of them are satellites there. He needs to point the camera close to the horizon there and north to see the genuine UFO activity. So, Andrew, why would it be genuine UFO activity over those places? And the problem is the horizon as well is actually much busier for satellites, and it's also busier for the geostationary ones, so it makes our search a little bit harder. But we just can't point those ways from the position we're in. But why are they only active in those areas? I'm not saying they're not, but like, is it that they're because there'll be a reason for everything, you know, that's their equivalent of a motorway, or is it that they're going for destinations and it's just better to do that sort of that way? I mean, satellites have preferential orbits for reasons, so is there a reason like that makes it more active for those sorts of things? And time is locked, so a pissed off teenager doesn't go back and kick off over the anthill. That was the start of the universe. There are safeguards. Well, these are the things that they do theorize in mainstream science. You know, the grandfather paradox. How does it work? So that it works. They can't call these things. I think they call it a block universe, isn't it? So they can't, you know, those knock-on effects don't have those causal actions, you know. And the higher, they are high-dimensional beings, and it's impossible to travel to other stars without 4D technology, and that's where the portal is, and it moves with the sun, and they are giving people the out of being satellites reflecting a light. Well, this is that part that looking like satellites. It's very true. Like anything up there, be it a man-made satellite or be it a UFO, it's going to reflect that light back in the same way. It's just that we have to look for that movement to confirm otherwise there. But I mean, in theory, you know, warp drives, wormholes are possible. They do not break science. You know, the big boffins have done the maths. They are very possible. They require a hell of a lot of energy, which we don't know how to get. But maybe an advanced civilization could, because it isn't an impossible amount of energy. And that could make traveling those distances easier without that dimensional component there. But it isn't just, like popping into another space there. And again, if we're three-dimensional beings, we cannot perceive or interact with those dimensions. But that doesn't mean fully that we can't in all other versions. But if there is it's not necessarily like a pocket, and we can lift fuzzy information from the past. The variations still exist, but they are diffused. All very interesting. And we cannot send information back there. But isn't technically travelling back sending information back there? So if backwards time travel is theoretically possible, you know, sending a person back is sending information. My evidence shows definitely there. The MUFON is baffled by the technology shown in my long exposure pictures. Well, I'm definitely interested in that corkscrewing behavior. Definitely interested in it. But I just want to know why. That is the thing, you know, why would it be? Have you got a theory for that? There was some Irish scientists, I can't remember their name, but they did think, like along those lines, that there are predictable paths for the UFOs. They thought they could actually predict the activity. There are certain just routes that were planned, and apparently, they were predictable. What was that one just going off screen? So maybe there is like a reason like that. Where are we there? Perpetual disclaimer. Exactly. Where can we see the photos? And actually, so definitely check those ones. Are they just on the YouTube there? because I'll need to check those ones out. And I have to look. That excellent there. I think we're over on that one. Right, back over to the TikTok. Where did we get to? And I think the aliens need to get a move on there if they want to look like saviors. Yeah, you know, now's the time, lads. Now's the time. But maybe, you know, kind of like parenting. Maybe they're literally just preventing us from totally annihilating ourselves, making sure that the lessons we learn don't come at a price that will, you know, that we can't come back from. You know, in the same way that you don't like let your toddler drive your car, you know, because that goes badly wrong. You know, that's a thing they can't come back from. But you let them fall over. You let them hurt themselves on the bike to learn how to ride. So maybe they're kind of doing that. They have been kind of guiding us with a steady hand all along, maybe. I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this, but have you seen the Brazilian psychic claiming that there will be an invasion at the World Cup? Oh, R4, I don't know. I think somebody mentioned about this, the psychic's claims, but I didn't know the specifics of it. And is that going on now? I'm seeing banners in the shops for World Cup. I don't follow football, so I don't know. I mean, maybe. Honestly, what's going on at the minute? The way things maybe is that why there's a push for disclosure to let us know, so it's not as much of a shock there. And why not here? Exactly. Oh, is that another flash? Just up there. Or am I seeing things out the corner of my eye? But I feel like that was a bright flash there. She's putting a rep on that. Well, that is very risky, isn't it? Especially as it's being so close. But if there's something to it. And M23, thank you for the follow there, Carl, as well. Alan must have a route through space. It's full of rocks and aliens must have a route through space. It's full of rocks and debris. But this is a point of it, isn't it? That there is, you know, even micrometeorites cause, you know, the James Webb Space Telescope, the ISS, all sorts of problems there. Now, if they were using the theorized warp drive, that solves that, because it makes you like your own bubble of space and time. So anything like that, including light, just passes around you. So that is the only way you can bypass that I'm aware of. Otherwise, you know, the faster you're going, the more like bullets, even if it's relatively stationary. It's a big issue there. And it'll C1 there, the top of a C1 for you on TikTok. That is there. And so for me, that was over. Yeah, that was it. So that was another. We've seen a lot of bright flashes tonight. A lot of one-off bright flashes, plus the other two anomalies earlier. I knew tonight was going to be a good one of how clear it was, but it's been very good there. Good. Well, thank you there. Who is this? Who is it as well? And where are we? Down. Oh, good spot. And Amanda as well. And how are we doing, FEB? Where are we? It takes 4D technology to bring 3D beings physically into their dimension, and we are being lied to on so many levels. Well, we can't say it isn't definitely possible. It does bend the brain, though, but again, that is from the point of mainstream science, which again does not know everything. Moon, they're blocking you again. FEB, how are you doing there? And has the stream frozen, or is the internet a window? Hopefully it's not frozen for any one of you guys there. Good, spotting Amanda with the flash there. And it might be the Star Trek Prime Directive. It could be. Oh, good night there, Moon. Thank you as always for hanging out. We'll catch you later. Right, holding your hats, guys. I'm spinning the camera around. There's a wisp of cloud which is doing my brain in. Let's get rid of that. Let's make sure we're getting all of the bloody stars possible. Oh, Vega is just on the edge of the screen now. But we'll avoid those clouds for the rest of the night if we can there. And they are bringing life forms into the near future as a jumpstart on a new beginning after the micronova. Not one for spreading fear, but it's the truth as I was shown. How was you shown? And that's not questioning it, but I'm just very interested because some people talk about like a consciousness connection and download. Some other people talk about I'm going to get it wrong, but like astral projection. Some people it's like physical encounters there. Was it something like that they kind of gave the information? Look, who am I to say otherwise there? Again, I have no special interest or special knowledge or anything like that. I've not had any direct experiences. So I just find it all fascinating. Where did we get to over on the TikTok? It's very active tonight there. And what are the two of them? So one of them was the flash that was multiple times across the screen, but kind of just the middle section of it. And what was the first one? I can't even bloody remember what the first one there. And who is Blue there? Thank you for the follow. I brought the Shooting Stars interview. You definitely did tonight, Kate. So we're doubly spoiled having you back. and the shooting stars there. Have you noticed at the beginning of Star Trek there is a flash when they warp? Could be. Well, Carl, very interesting on this as well, because part of that paper, I think you were in on that deep dive, wasn't it? There, that when we looked into the real scientific paper was on warp drive there, and then the second part of that paper was what would we observe if they are being used? And the thing is that there are signatures from a warp drive being used that may well be out there, but we are not looking with the right technology to be able to confirm it there. So we may be seeing evidence of these sorts of things. Loving stickers there, Kate. Hold your hats. And TikTok there. How do they stop or safely stop with the Large Hadron Collider from opening a black hole? Well, and Joe as well there, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us on tonight? It's a good question. So at the minute with the LHC, like the black hole stuff is kind of theorized. So I don't think it's strong enough. Like, I don't think there's the energy input into it enough to cause it. And I'm going purely off of the mainstream argument around here. So again, it could be very wrong. I'm just parroting what they're saying. But as far as we know, like, that would require like a lot more energy. Now, I'm a big fan of the law of unintended consequences, which is, lads, do you really bloody know? Maybe you've looked at that one way of doing it and you've done the maths and it's safe there. But that, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we're meddling with these sorts of things. And if we are about to be a planet with open contact with aliens, what do you think the purpose of this is? So, that's a good angle. The purpose of it, well, maybe it's not so much that there's a purpose in the sense of like we're choosing to do it, but more of it's just kind of what happens, in the same way that, the more of a species, the more chance that species is going to interact with other beings and other species on the same island, You start then just crossing the seas and you meet other people there. Maybe it's just like one of these products of living in a busy universe, which is what he's looking to do. It's a good angle there. We have the Space Force Army there. I've not seen them doing drills there, up there though. And here, what have we got to give them that's useful? Well, this is the other thing. If they are advanced enough to travel these vast distances, we probably don't really have anything to give them. We just have to hope that we are so less advanced than they are that we are just not a concern. Because there's a sort of sweet spot that if you're close enough in technological development, technically there's a threat from it. And that's when you get one sort of organisation rolling out over the other there. But if we are so far advanced, like those uncontacted tribes, we're just going to leave them alone. And that's what I think we can hope for there. And Captain Birdseye, how are we doing there? How was the catch today? So excited. I think, honestly, the time that we're living in and the information that's coming out and the stuff that we have access to of ourselves as individuals, it is an amazing time there. I would hope aliens able to travel this distance wouldn't have our defeat and to colonize patterns. Well, Kate, that very may well be a product of having that advanced technology. There are some very interesting arguments that argue that if they behave like that, they will end up using that technology internally. Like, could you imagine if we suddenly went, warp drive, if aliens come along and went, here's the technology for warp drive, and they gave it to one or two governments? Because warp drive, again, it's not the how to do it, it's the getting enough energy to do it. So to do that, they'd go like, here is a hell of a lot of energy. And a hell of a lot of energy is a bomb. It's the same thing. So they're essentially going, here's a super weapon. If we had that right now, no fun. We are not responsible enough. We haven't earned it. So maybe that is a product of these civilizations. If they've got this technology and they are using it to travel, they are more advanced than that. I mean, what is here on Earth? As far as we know, it's not special. The resources are available that we have here elsewhere, unless it's something to do with our life in particular. Purpose could be for humanity to be reset and for us to have an alien government. Maybe they just like doing it for the fun of it with those things. And they wouldn't want this planet. It's too messed up, and that's why they just fly by there. I mean, even if they're messed up, we still find all that sort of stuff interesting as well, don't we? We find ants interesting. I think it'll still be interesting for it there, but you never know. Maybe they're sensible. They roll up the windows, put the locks on as they go past. And you'd think that if they held onto that sort of phase of civilization, they wouldn't have gotten far enough to get off planet. Oh, what's going on with our internet? Hold on, guys. Sorry, TikTok. Internet's having a sulk for you guys at the second. Let me just troubleshoot on that one. It's not that one. Many computers on. Just doing some problem solving. Network. Why is it saying disconnected? I don't know, guys. Hopefully it's going to hold out enough for us to... They don't like the conversation. I'm going to continue as if not there, but it keeps saying I'm disconnected. So hopefully it's going to hold out there. It looks like it's frozen on my phone. We'll see how we get on that. Where did we get to? But yeah, exactly, Kate. Essentially, I think that makes a lot of sense. They would have to be more advanced to be able to have that technology. I don't think we are reasonable enough to contact all this planet, violence place. I mean, I think they may still be interested in like an anthropological sense, but probably not with a relationship at this stage, like a trade relationship or anything like that, you know. And who is this there? Freeze occasionally, but around. Thank you. MB just don't like it. They're jamming the signal. Well, I looked at all the computers and it's still running high, but there's nothing, unless Leanne's decided she wants to download all of Star Trek suddenly. Are we hit an hour or something? No. I don't want to set that one off there. Another interesting loophole. Facial expression. Oh, God. When you can start clipping those, Kate, I'm going to be worried there. Yeah. So hopefully for the minute. It's still showing quite high, so I'm sure it's going to conk out in a second there. And how is this late? Because we're starting later. I've got to push it a bit late, but I really am burning the candle at both ends there. Looking forward to the equinox and things start to go back the other way. Right, let's bounce back over to the tubes. Oh, it's telepathy there, and I was shown images. Now, lots are coming out like that at the minute, aren't they? That sort of whole thing. It's an area that I'm just got zero knowledge on, but I'm hearing so much about it, and it's very, very interesting. The CE5 stuff, Colin, that's it. CE5 stuff really is showing some very good results, and if that's true, what about the whole of that, that ability with our mind there? And Signal 1 is a good movie, and I watched it last night. Anyway, Signal 1, I've not heard of that one. I love an alien radio, Signal 1, and that's what we do on the nights where it's too cloudy to get the camera out. We listen out, like the film Contact there, listening out, hoping to hear ET say hello. And the only way to avoid this future is for humanity to realize that we are being enslaved, to break free, and the world's population to come together to benefit the planet and humanity, to evolve naturally. I mean, what are our chances, though, if that is the reality of it? And we need to add it to our movie club list as well. We are the children. We are all one, and this is happening all at once, not linear. Reality is much more different than we have been. Well, that I could even me and my limited knowledge, I'd go very much with that. And if you love Interstellar, you'll love Signal 1 and Project. I've seen Project Hail Mary, but I haven't seen Signal 1 there. What's it on there? And Richard Dolan is going to be on Disclosure Tonight podcast. Oh, really? There, join us. Oh, Scooby. I did check out Richard Dolan, actually. Not Richard, the Disclosure. I did check it out the other week when you were saying. I totally blanked on that one. Yeah, I will try to. It's just the times at the minute are a bit thing. But I do want to... yeah, I will try and catch up and and join and watch in on that one. I do like a bit of Dolan. There as well, and congratulations on it as well. 9 p.m. So what time... Because it's nearly 1 a.m. for us here. Fire Stick or Amazon Prime. I have to check out the Prime then there. Telepathy comes in many forms. It's probably going to be one of these areas that's so neglected by our modern technology and our modern sciences that, it's going to be everywhere weaved into our existence, but we just haven't noticed it, or mainstream hasn't noticed it. Richard usually stays after the show and answers questions in the meet chat. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. If I can stay up, I will, because I do like a bit of Dolan. And I will try and check out the film as well there. We'll have to add it to our movie club list. Maybe we can all watch it together. Just a little over an hour there. So that'll be 2 a.m. It's tempting. It's tempting. I'm normally an insomniac anyway, so I just lay there, so I might as well join in. Buckaroo Bonsai across the 8th dimension. Exactly. Where are we over on the TikTok? Let's bounce back over to here there. Started going when we saw the flash. Oh, interesting context for it. Fast mover right there. It has got a bit quieter now, hasn't it? Maybe it's the Earth shadow, so we can spin it around. That cloud's gone, so we spin it back around there. And Cotton Pockets, how are you doing? Where are you joining us on tonight? Thank you for the follow. Love how you have the Milky Way in the shot. Is the Milky Way? I mean, I never know which way it is. I can't distinguish it with my eyes. Is this? It's the brown and black areas. Just the cloud. Just if the clouds move, you can see it. Hold on. I want to go back. I want to see if we can spot this, because I've never been able to identify it before. So we've got a few clouds over. I can. Oh, guys! The Cohanger constellation, and we can zoom in on it. Hold on. So you know how constellations, the crab, all that sort of shit, don't actually look like, the Big Dipper, the bear, whatever. They don't actually look like it. This is the one bloody constellation.
Zoom mode activated.
That does. Look at that. Cohanger, and each one of those dots is a different colour. Absolutely stunning. Which means if we've got the coat hanger in shot, it should mean that if we keep going this way, come on thing, we might be able to see Andromeda for the first time this year. Let's have a look. Where are you, baby? Where are you? Is that Deneb? No, it's too far around to be Deneb, that purple one. Come on. It's normally quite far around. Let's have a look. Still looks like a musical note. Kate, you're wrong. It's a coat hanger. Although I can see what you mean. Right, where is it? Andromeda, where are you? I shouldn't have gone too far past it. Getting a few clouds now. Oh, look, you can see my chimney. Have we gone too far? Must have gone too far. Right, let's go back. A little bit of movement there. Where are you, Andromeda? Look at the colours of the stars tonight. Absolutely stunning. We're back to the Cohanger. Oh well. Right, let's go back this way, because at least we didn't have clouds there. We'll have to wait for Andromeda to show itself naturally there. Oh, less clouds anyway. You don't have to worry about talking to me. I'm happy. I don't mind being just a viewer and watching awesome content. At some point, once I sort my sleep out, we'll have to do it. I will make the effort, because I did catch a couple. Didn't watch it live because of time, but I did watch some replays and did enjoy it. And Andrew, there, I don't hold much hope for the future like that. That's why the government are building dams and billionaires are building underground shelters, and they know what's to come. Well, they definitely are building more and more shelters, aren't they? And he's going to talk about his new book about the USOs. Isn't he doing like a few on them? It's like there's certain volumes. He's doing it like the really early ones, the later one, and then the current day ones or something there, like 3 volumes, was it there? Put some espresso on. I'm so caffeinated as it is, probably why I don't sleep. So these are the evil people enslaving humanity will not survive. And I'm interested in the underworld of UFOs. I think it's a very interesting angle here. And Rich there, I'm an insomniac too there, and I was still up in my man cave at 5 a.m. last night, and I probably do the same tonight. See, this is the thing, like, I've realised with my insomnia that I need about 5 or 6 hours to get to sleep. So if I go, I'm going to do something useful, I'm not asleep anyway, then it just pushes that 5-hour window later. So it's a right pain in the arse. Yeah, so I have to just give up and sit there and lie there for ages. It's a bloody pain in the arse. At least if I could do some more of this or something like a useful, fill the time there. Right, let's go over to the TikTok. So we're coming towards the end. seen two fast-moving like that in this spot. The same colour, good spotting, and it's there. And defo life over there in Andromeda, perhaps even here in the Milky Way. I think there's just got to be with the scale of it, and it's all the other galaxies. Is Andromeda an older or a younger galaxy now? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, if it's older, again, even more time for life to develop. But Andromeda is a galaxy that is on its way to merge with us here. Still a few million years later yet, but we don't want to be around for that. That's going to be chaotic for that one. And user68, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from? And isn't it usually to the left of the coat hanger from us, a viewer's point of view? So, not from the TikTok, it's from the left, but like the true left. So, normally, I think. Unless I've totally forgotten. I just keep scrolling that way. More like a shelf with a hook there. I think it looks like a good one. And Stephen, I see plenty of things in the sky over Sandwell and just got to find a nice unlit area. This is the thing, Stephen, when you actually put in the time and find a place without low light pollution, there is stuff up there. There is so much strange things. You know, and again, so many people have had these experiences. There has to be, and it's also vast. Just too many possibilities. I think that is logical, after all. You know, I did not understand the scientific position, which they have updated now, and they do think life is going to be absolutely bloody everywhere. Lauralas, I've totally missed your gifts, but thank you for those, and thank you for feeding
Nom nom nom.
Alan,
Thanks,
all the
guys.
gifts, the subs, the members, the merch goes back into the stream, help improve what we do. Speaking of which as well, guys, we are hoping to next week get the show on the road. So we'll be taking the live rig up the Iron Age hill forts here locally, where there's been a lot of historic sightings. So it's always fun when we do get a chance to do that. Haven't done it since November, so if the weather holds, should be next Wednesday or Thursday, then we're going to go up with Pete the Skeptic to do all of that. But we are at the minute saving up, hence me going merch all the bloody time, because it all goes into the fund for that. But we're trying to get the show properly on the road, start off our little UK tour of the hotspots, and doing Rendlesham Forest. We're planning to do over the next couple of months if we can work it all out there. But do where that crash reportedly happened. Try and do a live Skywatch from there. I love the sky. It looks so peaceful at night, so peaceful. It really does. You don't have to like the aliens to even enjoy the stream. I mean, a little bit of this music, looking out at the night sky, the odd sky there, the odd shooting star, is absolutely amazing. And wow, what would it be like to see two galaxies colliding? Oh, Loris, it'd be insane. Such a slow process, but like amazing, I think, to see that. I mean, this happened with our galaxy before. Apparently, there's a few different remnant galaxies. You know, the Milky Way has actually merged a few times. In fact, they think merging with a former galaxy called the Sagittarius galaxy actually is what triggered our star to be born, and also why it's so rare. Well, not necessarily rare, but it's a rare set of circumstances about our position in the Milky Way with our type of star. Apparently, I think, might have been from a previous collision. And is this now, if you look closely or zoom in to the one of the clear spots, you will see a slightly faint and misty looking. So I can't tell with the misty looking. I imagine that's what I'd expect to see. But we've got the cloud trolling. I think I've missed the opportunity. Next time, remind me is this. And yeah, since the upgraded science position on life in the universe has changed, I tend to agree with it more. I think so. Like, it's got to be more and more out there. And that's the Milky Way. Yeah, so I can just see clouds now. There. And thank you, Laura. Right, where are we? Over on the tubes. Where do we get to? My mission is to warn that, Andrew. Very noble. I mean, what else is there to do? My sleep pattern sucks. Colin, 100% with this one. Just can't shut the old brain off there. And Andromeda is going to get nearer. Apparently merge. Yeah, coming right in. A long time yet, but... Yeah, and Andrew, in time, I will be given more credibility, and hopefully more evidence will prove what this is. The more things like that do come true, it adds to the case. And look, I understand why a lot of people don't believe, not just individual cases, but you know, generally the UFO stuff. Like if you're talking to average Joe on the street who's gone through life and they've never had any problems, you know, they've got their job, they've got their wife, the kids, they've gone through, education was fine, all that jazz. They've got no reason to question the mainstream narrative. It's all worked for them. There's no possibility of anything working. And I think until things start to change and people see the differences, see where the narrative doesn't align, then they can be open to the other things. You're here for the aliens. I mean, deep down, we are here for the aliens. Night sky is so peaceful. It really is. It is stunning there. I mean, I wish we were in, like, you know, New Mexico, where the sky is desert, it's mostly clear. And I know in the UK we do get these odd clouds all the damn time. And so would Andromeda colliding with the Milky Way be dangerous to life on Earth? I think very much so. So there would be, although it's unlikely that there would be like direct planetary collisions, although just on the sheer numbers, there's going to be some. It's more that each of those like gravitational interactions. So imagine, you know, it's like if a big planet came by us right now, because it's so big and its gravity versus ours, it would cause all earthquakes, could interfere with our atmosphere, our position near to the sun, and obviously that's, you know, very precisely tuned for life to survive. So having larger objects flying around, messing and shaking things up can be very, very dangerous there. Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way is already touching it, if you don't... Oh, I did hear about that, actually. Like, it doesn't look like it, but there are the faint outer edges are ever so slightly just... I did hear something on that, yes. And off now to look forward to watching it tomorrow there. Stephen, thank you for joining us there. We are going to be coming off now, just winding up with the messages. But thank you for joining us. So make sure, guys, you are following or subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we're on every night. Clear skies, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch right from the heart of Crop Circle Country. Cloudy nights is the alien radio signal hunt there, so we should be back on tomorrow night with something or other there. Not sure what the weather's doing yet, but make sure you're following or subscribed there. And I absolutely would throw orbits off, I should imagine, there before we could even consider collision. Yeah, it's such a delicate balance there, isn't it, there? I've always believed there since a very young age there, always been open to those possibilities. It seems to be either people that have had an experience and it's shocked their worldview, or people that are just generally more creative and more open to ideas. Wait till you see Signal 1. I am very keen to check that one out. I haven't even seen a trailer for it there. So, guys, I am going to wind up for tonight. But thank you so much, as always, for joining us, for hanging out, for providing all of your awesome experiences, your knowledge, and sharing that, or just keeping us company quietly as we do this there. Again, it's all greatly appreciated. If you've been tapping away, sharing, liking, all that jazz, helping us build our little community up here. Again, extra love for that. If you've been gifting subbers, members, all that sort of jazz. Again, thank you for helping us improve the stream. Thank you to the mods, as always, for being awesome and keeping things wonderful. But thank you again, and yeah, we should be on tomorrow night there. So I sound too nerdy, though you do not sound nerdy at all there. But in fact, no stars would hit due to the distance there. I like this. So, I mean, I imagine there's like a lot of space there, but surely just on the... What was that? That was down there. I hope that was cool. That, to me, at the corner of my eye, was the biggest, brightest flat, but big. That was like something close, like far closer and far faster than a satellite. So I can't do instant replay anymore. The multi-platform thing doesn't allow it, but this is recorded, and if we come off in a second, you'll literally be able to go onto the YouTube and just check out that recording, which is what I'm going to do, because that might have been, if it was as big as my eye saw that means it was closer, so not satellite level, far too fast to be a drone or something. So I'm going to analyze that one. That is very, very interesting there. But anyway, thank you again for all that, guys. I'm going to go check that one out. But we'll catch you again, hopefully, tomorrow night there. So see you there later, guys. Bye-bye. Where's my buttons? There we go. Bye.